Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Dice Baby. I think we're up to, what, episode 6 or 7 of this?
7.
Yeah, 7, hell yeah. This week's episode brought to you by Taylor Swift's Left Boob. Let's start off by recapping. Sorry, just your face at that was beautiful. Let's start off by recapping. We have no Rosberg, so somebody else has to try and be equally as funny now. Who wants to try?
Oh, fuck. I wasn't paying attention last week. It'd be best if I go.
No idea what happened.
Don't remember.
What was it? A whole bunch of goblins came into town and tried to fuck with us. And some hobgoblins and...
I fucking figured out what went wrong. Do you know how one squad of them got away?
Yeah.
Rosberg didn't tell them to not leave town.
Oh, there you go.
So
There
one time he slips up. That's probably why he's not here
It's
this
all
week.
wrong.
He's ashamed.
He left town.
Yeah.
So ashamed he
There's
lived.
no way for us again. Goblins attacked. We cleaned up the bodies afterwards. Went to the Lord.
What was that? Hey, what was our kill count last week? I can't remember.
31.
39? Yeah.
31.
30 to 40 goblins.
Yeah. Smashed it.
Shit, I genuinely can't remember what happened after the battle.
And then we tracked, that's right, we tracked the goblins to somewhere south, and then we decided to turn back because we were all pretty exhausted and wanted to make it a big day of it. So
Yeah, no one
Now
wanted
we're
to camp
waking
outside.
we came back to town,
Bought some spells.
did buy some spells.
Did you need money for those?
We
I
bought
did
healing
need money for
potions
those.
as well.
Yeah.
So I'll give you my handy. Alright.
We stopped. Didn't
Got
I?
a
Was I
hundred.
doing
You
something
were
like that?
also contributing to that. That's right.
Handy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so how much did you need?
I plan on
I needed an
sponsoring him
extra
in the future.
$350.
Okay,
Okay.
so I've only got 100 left, so you can have 100.
I've given you 100.
That leaves with me with 3.
I think
I think
Rosberg was going to give
Rosberg was going to chip in the rest, yeah. So
Rosberg was going to give
That's
you
not just
350
because
gold.
it's
That's very kind.
very
you. He said he'd
kind.
cover costs for the rest of the campaign.
Wow.
Hey, Rosberg, can I have the rest of your money? Say nothing if you don't want me to. Okay, great, thanks.
Okay. So yeah, you spent a little bit of time prepping as well, getting what few potions you could. And yeah, you've invested the time and cold hard cash to get haste on your spell list.
Got a lot
On top
new
of what else did
skills.
you take just as part of your level up? Out of curiosity.
I also took Fireball
Classic.
and Circle of was it Amplification?
Amplification that
Yeah.
powers up spells.
Circle of enhance.
Yes. Cool. Well, with that, I think we're just about good to get cracking then. You took the extra evening, partially for your own sakes. No point heading out further and further into the night, and also partially so that Jeremiah can have the spare time to get haste primed and ready to go. With that, we come to the next morning. I will note that evening there's a couple of new faces in the Hellish Rebuke. There is an elven couple. Reverence mostly serves you as they're having some conversation with Maximilian. And I imagine you guys don't spend too long with the tap room, still having preparations to do. With Jeremiah needing to copy down a spell, but that would just be something you notice on your way in. Next morning.
I would casually ask just about them. Just a new couple.
Yeah, I would be paying attention.
Asking Reverence, or
Yeah, reverence.
yeah, he's moved in just earlier today with their daughter.
Whereabouts do you know from?
I nearly pulled out just the worst possible voice there. Just 2 doors to the right.
Sorry, what was that?
2
Wait,
doors
what?
to the right.
What do you mean where they're from? Originally?
Yeah.
When?
Didn't know.
Alright.
Haven't asked yet. Figures our Max will find out before too long.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep our distance and make sure they feel safe at the same time.
Yeah.
They seem like good enough people. A tailor and a haberdasher, I'm told.
Taylor and Haberdasher.
Lord knows we're going to need those sorts of things. Anyway, let me know if you need anything else.
Will do. Thanks for having us.
So yeah, the next morning the weather is quite fair. A little bit warm, but a bit cloudy, a bit patchy. Every so often the sun just kind of pops behind the clouds for a couple of minutes and back out. Good news is that that means it hasn't rained. The tracks that you had found should still be there. They should have been reasonably well preserved.
Nice.
What are we up to?
Should make a start.
Before we start, are we worried about anyone, a particular someone scrying on us? Because I have now a way to deal with that,
Oh.
apparently.
Well, it's goblins, isn't it?
Well, I thought we potentially had the eyes, the owner of the eyes dealing with us.
The old HAG.
That one, yes.
The notorious.
Notorious
She
HAG.
can
Notorious HAG. Very
She
big
can
in the
probably
rap game.
spell if she's.
Holy fuck! I'm gonna make the hags Biggie Smalls. That's gonna be
Yes.
fucking-
Yes.
The hags.
Plural.
All of them. There's just to be 3 versions of Biggie Smalls that have made a coven, and by coven I mean rap group.
Yes.
You should make 4 of them, and one of them is Biggie Smalls, the other one's Tupac Shakur, Suge Knight, and P. Diddy. That'd be great. Anyway,
That's too many hags.
it's a right amount of hags.
Well, are we worried about being scried upon? Is it too much trouble for you to stop that from happening?
If I can take my time about it, but that'll be like an hour, or I can do it quickly and just have slightly less in the tank for any altercations we come across.
Well, what kinds
I
of
think it's the safest
protection
option.
does it give us? What does it do?
So my understanding, this is another one of those rooms that we were talking about. It's turned up, and my understanding is it's just going to protect us from scry and divination and stuff, and make it quite painful if it happens for them.
For how long?
Roughly 8 hours, I would
okay.
imagine.
Sounds like something that
Give or
could-
take a minute.
Yeah, yeah.
Sounds like something that could be really useful, but for today, maybe if we're getting closer to where we think the goblins might have gone to, I think it might be a lot more useful once we're there, so they can track us.
I figure
Essentially.
if they don't know we're coming, then they don't know we've left.
Hmm.
Which means, they're not going to take any opportune times. I'm not saying, like, it might be a hag, but I want to treat it like there is a hag. I want to...
It's the caps.
It's the hag.
Oh God.
Look out, it's the busies.
You know what I mean?
You're saying it's something that you could do, you could prepare as a ritual, is that right?
Effectively, yeah, it is as a ritual. Yeah.
Well then, depending on how we manage our ability to stop and rest and stuff like that, you could potentially apply it multiple times a day.
I can do it twice, probably, maybe.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, it's
If
not.
it's a ritual, it doesn't cost a spell slot.
Oh yeah, ritual as many times. Yeah,
Wow.
sorry.
You
Okay.
just need to stop and wait for an hour every time.
Yeah. This.
Keep in mind, during that hour, they would be short resting, but you wouldn't because you'd be casting a spell.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it would make your short rest more in the vein of 2 hours if he also needs a rest.
I mean, if we really think it's a big problem, I could burn the spell slot at least, but that would be a last resort kind of thing.
It makes sense why we don't know exactly who's got what kind of eyes on us. That's for sure. Yeah. Let's do
Okay.
that. Yeah.
We're all cool with that.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
make
I
sure
will-
we're all fed before we leave.
It might be worth going to one of the rooms at the inn that you have to cast the spell,
Yes,
rather than
yeah,
doing
I
the
mean,
whole ritual out, just out in the middle of the
I'm
chat
not gonna
room.
pull out abyssal runes and start fucking speaking.
Like
in
lighting
some
the
unknown
candles,
tongue.
drawing out some pentagrams.
Yeah, we'd hide away and just cast that on each one.
Cool.
For the hour.
Speaking of new stuff, new spells, when I was thanks again for pitching in for that spell
it's
scroll.
okay.
No
While I
worries.
was
Sure.
taking a look at that and adding it to my spell book, I got a flash of inspiration. Something along the same lines of metabolism and speeding things up, and basically long and short of it is that I can cast a spell now that lets everyone, it makes their magic slightly more potent. So
okay.
if you cast a spell, you cast it slightly more of a powerful version of it.
That sounds sick.
It lasts for a
That
minute,
sounds
and you got to be
really
within
good.
20 feet of me, 15 feet.
Static point on the ground, so you
Yeah.
lay it out, and then it's just they have to be within the circle.
Yeah.
Um,
You can only use it once though.
Yeah, first spell you
I
cast
can do
while you're
something
stood in the
cool with
area,
that.
and by the way, it's all creatures. It's not just allies. To keep that in
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
But first spell that gets cast in the area gets upcast by 1.
Okay.
Only if you have that level of spell slot normally available. So you guys currently only have up to 3rd level spell slots, so a 3rd level spell won't go
Would
up to
just be
4th
third
level, so it'll be 3rd level, but a 2nd level one would be upcast to 3rd level, and it's just the ones.
That could be very useful because
It's a force multiplier.
yeah. I tend to try and stick close to you as well, like occasionally, so that would be quite good for me.
Yeah. Well, I'll give everyone a bit of a signal so that you know when I'm doing it. So I'm thinking of calling it Jeremiah's magic pump.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes. To pump the magic.
How
I've got a
much-
nice ring to
yeah.
it. Yeah.
How much?
So
How much did I give you for that? I give you anything?
money?
Yeah.
No, I think.
Only for the sex.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
He
he's,
likes
he's a
it,
cheap
come on.
lay. He really he needs it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey,
Boy.
wizarding's expensive. You know, we all got to do what we got to do.
It was in the
Genuinely at this
messenger.
point, all I can think now is like a wizard who had to pay their way through wizard school by becoming a stripper.
Yeah.
That's what I'm imagining.
Stripper wizard.
That's.
Or actually a bard, because that's like the performative, charismatic things. It's like, yeah, I was trying to go to a wizard school, but turns
dropped
out
out.
actually stripping was so lucrative.
Yeah. Exactly.
I already know a little bit of
Here I
magic,
am.
but I mean, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, the name, Magic Mike.
Yes. Yes.
It's all
There
there.
it is.
It's all there. It's all coming together.
There it
There you
is.
go.
Anyway, anyone need a backup character?
Yeah.
Not anymore.
so,
Magic Mike. He's an arcane archer.
That one's mine.
so you head out. I assume you're sort of more or less following the trail from the day before. Can I just get a quick survival check from everyone? It's just making sure that you do stick on the trail. Also, don't forget, I did mention it in the Discord, we have officially added crafting and linguistics.
Oh yes.
Oh, have
Yep. So they are officially there. Both key off intelligence. Rosberg has crafting proficiency. Jeremiah has linguistics proficiency.
Yep.
Cool.
And yeah, technically they're proficiencies that can be picked up just as other ones can, really. Yeah.
12.
11 on a natural one.
13.
Mine was an 8, and
I'll get Shane's what you got.
Rosberg's was
Is this for looking for the same tracks?
Yeah, this is like making sure you're getting on the same tracks and then continuing to follow them.
Would I have any advantage because of the fact that I found them last time? Or
Not necessarily.
Being a,
worth trying?
would I have advantage being a monster hunter?
Not particularly, no. That would be a more
Just give me advantage.
blood hunter
Unless
thing.
their Fey Fiends are undead. Oh, that's a blood hunter thing.
Yeah, yeah. You're from the same guild, but not necessarily of the same skill set and persuasion. You're essentially what you're what a paladin would be to a druid. Completely fucking different.
Yeah, fair enough. They're not the same.
Anyway, these two things
still
are
rock with
not
them.
the same. Wow, that was some terrible rolling. Luckily, the tracks have been faded. You're able to find them, and you're able to sort of follow them. It's a little bit messy. They haven't made too much of an issue to hide their tracks. That's probably the only thing playing in your favor right now. Yeah, that also means they didn't do too much to obfuscate their numbers on the way in. You start to lose the tracks of the 5 that made their way out, but you are still able to follow the inward tracks of the larger raiding party, and that's just kind of what you're going off for now. So for all you know, the smaller party might have split off in a separate direction. You don't know. But the tracks eventually lead you, if someone wants to open our map that now only 2 people would be able to say, actually no, we've got a whole big ass screen. What am I talking about?
Is it on the?
What
On the
up?
It should be in the Discord, yeah, it should be in the pins.
how am I going to do? I don't know how I'm going to do
The
this
resources.
right now.
Was it
Yeah, I'm just.
I had to bring it up.
No, yeah, because we're going to lose. We're going to lose our DM, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
Which one are we?
That
looking
one.
That one.
This
Yeah,
one.
that's one.
You.
How does
The tracks lead you south, east and then kind of south a bit. They sort of
Oh, yeah,
skirt
that's
it
right, we
just a bit
came
past the
down
coast.
here.
That's around where you left them last
We
time.
came-
You follow
yeah.
them sort of on a relatively familiar trajectory until they terminate at the mouth of the cave, rather, where you found the werewolves.
Okay,
So we're back.
this is a problem.
So it's just here, yeah?
Same cave.
I was kind of hoping that this was unrelated to our previous issues, but it's looking
It's
less and
directly
less like
related.
it's unrelated.
Well, there was
I'm
also
assuming,
that.
I'm assuming Lord Garrow's nightmares are also the same source.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
For sure.
Now we can talk about it because we're not
Yep.
able to be scryed upon.
Well, then they don't know we're here, possibly.
Probably
I think
not.
we have to investigate this place.
Well, there was also that the little area out back that I can get to, but
Oh yeah, well we're gonna
Goblins could fit through there easily,
Oh.
but why would they come through there? Yeah.
well, should we see what we can find in the cave? If there's obvious tracks that point to that area, then
Well, coming into the cave, no tracks because obviously it's stone. But the far end of the cave, you can see it has been actively widened by some quite crude-looking tools, just based on the resulting damage on the rock, and it's just kind of been like brutally chipped away at. There's no finesse. They're not trying to make it easily passageable necessarily, but they have widened it such that now all of you could reasonably comfortably get through it. Torgal, you may have to kind of like all fours at some point, but the rest of you could just kind of like get into a low crouch for parts of it.
That's what you give them being big.
But it has been widened.
How long ago was it that we were actually here? The last
Not
couple
too
of days
long,
ago?
less than a week.
Okay.
Would have been, yeah, after the last... Yeah, just maybe like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head.
sounds about right.
Alright.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
should we?
Well, this is disturbing.
Well, should we proceed a bit stealthily? Maybe those who can move quieter up ahead first. See if they can get some eyes out.
Maybe.
I'm staying at the back there.
I've got invisibility if we want to send someone ahead. I can.
That's pretty stealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Right.
light on my feet as well, but not as light as being invisible.
It's whether we want to scout first before heading down.
Well, I
You
think
wanna
it
go
makes
take a look?
sense because we don't know the numbers that we're up against. So
Yeah, they may be regrouping. Who's stealthiest out of us? If you gave it a number.
I'm not bad in the
Rosberg slowly raises his hand.
yeah.
Uncle just
Sorry.
pushes his hand back.
yeah.
Good effort, though.
How's this for a plan? Most of us stay on this side. Whoever's good at being stealthy goes to the mouth at the other end, and then you go with them. You're invisible. Take a little recce, come back, and then they can cover you from the mouth.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that as well.
I would give myself a 6 if I had to put it in numerical terms.
I would say I am equivalent to that.
I'd
Oh,
say you're about
great.
6 times better.
So we're exactly the same.
All right, sounds like we're.
Unless I'm invisible.
You guys are the fucking worst.
No, I'm
We're
pretty
role
stealthy.
playing here. Shut up.
Shut up, God.
I'm pretty stealthy.
Shut up, whoever said that. I'm being immersed.
Yeah, I don't want to fight in that tunnel.
Oh no, I don't want to do that either.
Neither do I.
So
But
you
if
two
we could
wanna-
go in and check it out. Are you done?
Well, maybe
Let's go.
keep
Adventure
keep the
time?
spells.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys are that stealthy, go for it.
Why not, eh?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Can you?
Head on in.
Can we
Go ahead.
assist each other?
I'm going to.
Yeah, you slowly crawl forward, jerking each other off.
Yeah.
I am going to
That's what I
disguise
thought.
myself and make myself look
Stealthily.
like the hobgoblin leader,
Okay, yeah.
just for fun.
As soon as I see that, I attack him.
yeah.
Quick to here!
Have you not
Right
seen
now.
this before? Just calm down. It's, whoop, whoop. I'll start.
Just like becomes you.
Making
You
it
just
worse, yeah.
Damn. Is that what I look like? Okay. You want to go first or me?
Me.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, roll stealth.
I'm ready.
Another natural 1.
Nice.
Fuck, you are
Plus
on to
7.
it tonight.
16.
You just sort of scuffle your way through. It's hard to be perfectly silent, and because it's a cave, what sounds you do make kind of echo a bit. There's only so much you can really do. But you come out the other side, much as Jeremiah would have seen a couple of nights back. On the other side, it kind of opens into this low, damp, sort of large forested drainage basin that seems to continue, and as it sort of slopes down, seems to open out into quite swampy terrain. And you can immediately see a number of things. First of all, there's clearly been a little bit of a staging area here. Not a whole lot, but just a couple of like crude palisades where clearly they had some temporary defenses while they were working on opening this gap. And you can see tracks kind of running all around that area and also leading outward down into the swampier area. I'm about to introduce a mechanic.
Cool.
This is called an alarm table.
Oh, okay.
There are 5 potential things that can happen, all graded in difficulty, and also graded on a bell curve. So I am going to get you guys to roll 3d6 a number of times each day and night, and the result determines what could potentially happen here. So right now, of the 5, the middlemost, sorry, not quite the middlemost, the second from lowest encounter is right on the average of a bell curve. So to roll higher than that is less likely, and to roll lower than that is less likely. As you do various things, it is possible for you to raise or lower the alarm level. What that's going to do is that's going to shift where that distribution is relative to the difficulty of encounters. If you raise the alarm too much, the most difficult encounters are going to become the most statistically likely to roll.
Right.
So for example, that was a terrible roll, so let's just pretend that it was a 9. That would be pretty much down on the average. I think it's just so slightly below. So that would be a chance at a relatively low level encounter. There is a different table here for nighttime and daytime. You are going to need to make 1 check each day and 1 check each night.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm going to be getting you guys to roll.
Is that
Okay.
all of us? Right.
No, just one person rolls for the party.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Probably matter because you're
I don't need
there.
that pressure.
Because you're ahead.
Yeah.
I banged my head on the roof of the cave and went,
Ah! Ow, my head.
Fuck you. Oh God.
That's not bad.
Okay.
I
13.
don't know. I generally don't know.
Okay.
is more better or worse? We don't know.
Worse.
Oh,
Oh, good. No, that's bad.
Yeah,
That was
higher is
horrible.
worse.
Okay.
So, as you guys, as you come through the other side, you kind of follow in behind. You kind of lose track of Marta ever so slightly, and are a bit less graceful coming through as well. So bump your head at some point, I imagine. You're like, ah, and yeah, you're definitely not as stealthy coming through, but it also doesn't seem to be a problem. There doesn't seem to be anything immediately on the other side, luckily.
how far, like deep is the cave that we just came through? Like, what's the distance to the rest
not
of the
too
party?
far. It's like it would be no more than like 2 or 3 meters. It was just a bit too narrow to realistically get through.
Oh, okay.
And it's like it's quite wide. It's just quite low. Like you were more or less belly sliding through there, and were able to get through. And it's been like widened upwards so that you can get through a bit more easily now.
I'm just gonna telepathically notify the rest of the guys that it's immediately clear and they should probably start coming through.
Okay. I'm following up.
Yeah, do I see anything on the immediate interior when I first?
Nothing immediately, no. All right, so everyone has convened through. Like I said, there's sort of various footmarks and tracks. The ground here is a bit more just generally damp, and then all kinds of tracks that sort of lead further out down the slope and out towards the swampier portion of the area. What are we up to?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep pushing in slowly. Yeah.
Cool. So you guys are
Tracks, keep an
Yeah.
eye out.
passing out through
Just-
the... You're like out in the open air at this point. This isn't inside the cave. This is outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Actively keeping an outlook for more goblins and
Cool, cool. So in that case, where are you guys heading? What's the plan? How are we...
I'm gonna look for the. So there are tracks here still.
Yeah, there's like you've come out of the other side of the cave.
Right.
You're outdoors.
Okay.
The
Okay.
cave is partway up a slope. It slopes further down. This is essentially an inland drainage basin.
Okay.
Right.
So it slopes further down. At the top edge of the slope where this part of the cave is, there's this very small little staging area where there's like a couple of like crude wooden palisades, and what might have been like patches on the ground where people slept. Aside from that, there's like footprints moving around that area. It's not particularly big. It would be like no bigger. Like if I'm where the cave comes out, it'd be like this kind of size. It's not big, and there's also a large number of tracks, sort of continuing away from this area down the slope further in towards the middle part of the drainage basin, in towards the swamp.
Right.
There's hundreds of these tracks. Like it's various comings and goings.
Right.
Was any of this here when you came through?
I don't believe there was.
Wasn't
No.
You'd think you'd remember it.
Yeah. I
Pretty
remember
active.
a tree. There was a tree, I think. A swampy and a general swampy area, but that
Yeah.
was it. Yeah. No, this is this seems to be very, very new. So
Okay. Well, it looks pretty well traveled. Maybe we want to move adjacent to it rather than just following the tracks directly.
Yeah, I agree.
Try and keep within sight of them, but maybe not on the path, because then we're just going to run into someone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Can I get survival checks from you guys then?
Yeah.
Before I do mine, can I use my free spell, which will be enhance ability on
that's
myself and give advantage
Yeah, sure.
for wisdom?
cool. Cool.
Both threes. Nice. Fuck yeah. Jesus.
God, what a great use of a free spell
I know.
cast. Woo! Lad!
15 for me and 21 for Rosberg.
Cool.
Sweet. Where do I get 11?
26.
22.
Where'd you go? Yeah, you kind of stay off the path a bit and just kind of skirt around to the left-hand side as you just try and make sure you're moving out towards the swamp, keeping inside of it. Unfortunately, that quite quickly runs into a problem. As you come down into the swamp, the terrain becomes a lot more mixed. And the tracks become a lot less distinct. It starts to become a case of sort of spotting little patches of slightly drier earth where you can still see boot prints and footprints and signs of movement. At the very least, it seems to bear generally southward. That's the good news. Can I get perception checks from everyone as well? Apparently not.
ain't
Who
nothing
does?
slipping past me.
Or
What'd you get?
Natural 20.
Oh,
Let's make 22.
22,
16 for Rosberg and 4 for me.
8.
My net 20 gave me 25.
Oh, okay. 10. for
Guys,
myself.
put those dicks away.
I won't.
But not that quickly.
You're kind of keeping tabs on the path itself, trying to look ahead to see signs of movement down it. Also, see if you can, that is to say, like seeing creatures moving up and down the path, or path really, the tracks that you're trying to follow, the general direction of stuff. It also seems you realize as you're kind of looking, like there's not like a single route that has been taken. You see different bits here and there, sort of within the general area that show signs of movement, like broken branches, things like that, and literal physical tracks in the ground. You're kind of keeping an eye outward more elsewhere. as you are proceeding, you sort of come into a bit where you're wading through, like roughly ankle deep water, nipple deep on Jeremiah.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yep. It's because he's crawling there.
Yeah, he's still belly sliding. He's like, can we get up yet? It's just like ankle deep, and you're heading towards sort of another kind of mound of slightly raised up earth. It just seems like dirt that's kind of dirt and leaves and stuff that's just clotted around tree roots to make a slightly more raised area. You are quite close to it when you see it shift slightly. Everyone roll initiative.
Oh, you fuck.
Good as ever.
2 again. What the fuck?
Brother!
We'll tell you that dice tonight.
That was a different dice.
Oh shit!
But it is dead to me as well.
We need to start opening a dice graveyard. I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where's that big box of minis?
It's a big smelter.
Is it over there?
Big box.
It's
It's
a
my
big
shame.
giant box of minis.
Oh yeah, yes it is.
The big
Could you
box.
ferry that over this way? if you want to do a
shit,
battle
I
map.
fucking
do it.
Yeah.
Could you Brian Ferry it this way?
Boys.
Brian Ferry. Oh shit.
The box of doom.
Could you ferry fire it?
Sweet. Maybe we'll go
Where's
to
that
a
gone?
quick hold.
Nice.
Welcome back.
Hey.
Not that we were gone.
Never will.
So yeah, that's what you guys come across. Fuck yeah, we got a map and everything. Look at that shit go. That big black mass of stuff is the thing. It's the thing you saw move.
Oh my god.
And the battle begins with it because
Everything
y'all are
else.
slow. It is going to move directly towards you, and it is going to start fucking
Have I got to
shit
move this thing?
up.
Yep.
Just engulfs Torgal.
It could.
Torgo, what's your arm class?
Oh shit.
It's 17.
17. Okay. 1 hit, 1 miss.
Ooh. The world's worst sniper.
For a total of 13 bludgeoning damage. Which brings us to Oakley.
Okay, I am going to use my bonus action to cast my Celestial Brightbow rune.
Ooh.
So
Pretty fucking good.
What's that
bow just appears.
It's basically spiritual weapon.
shit? No, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now I can't attack with it.
Oh my god.
You can attack with it in this turn.
Can I attack with it in this turn?
Yeah.
Yeah, same
The
spiritual
turn
weapon.
you
Yeah,
cast
you,
it.
you,
Hell
you make an attack on the
yes.
turn you cast it.
Great, and I just use my spellcasting modifier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That's pretty
Again, like this is basically literally spiritual weapon.
20 to hit.
That'll hit. Yeah.
I just love
Cool,
that.
and because it's at level 2, it's 1d8 plus my spellcasting modifier.
Great.
8 points of damage.
8
Radiant
points of
damage.
radiant damage.
Radiant.
Okay.
See, actually, that spell attack is
Radiant.
even more than that, but it's alright.
Mhm.
It's still hit. And as my action, I'm just going to cast a vicious mockery on it. So that's a Wisdom save, DC 16.
Sure. Cool. Nope.
All right, so it.
No, as in like no,
Oh,
it didn't
no.
go off.
Yeah.
Again,
You bitch!
Yeah, it's yeah. I'm kind of cucking myself with my word choices there. At any rate, anything else on your turn?
Moved back a little there.
Anything else on your turn?
I'm good.
Okay, cool. Not being funny, but could you actually move that other chunk next to? Actually, just replace. See that bush immediately behind Marta?
That one?
Yeah. Replace that with the black one that you've got in your left hand there. Yeah,
There's
brilliant. It's
another one.
attacking you,
Oh,
Marta.
fuck.
All right.
As
guess
one just
when it
shifts
moves
up behind
into
you.
my within 10 feet, I'll take my attack of opportunity.
The only tricky thing with that is it is already within that.
So it hasn't
As in, like,
moved.
it was
was
there
right
behind
next to
you.
you.
Nobody
Oh,
had noticed
okay.
it.
It's
Um,
there.
Stealthy bitch.
Yeah.
Okey-dokey.
So this is basically like this thing in front of you starts moving. Everyone's like, "Oh shit!" And then suddenly a mass behind you sort of lifts up out of the water and starts kind of just doing the thing. What's your armor class right now?
15.
15. That one's cocked. It's 2 hits.
Can I shield one of them?
Just out, I'm afraid. Lowest is a 21.
Okay.
This is also kind of bad news because a couple of things are going to happen. First of all, first one is 10 bludgeoning damage. Second one is 14 bludgeoning damage. You are grappled you are also engulfed.
Oh, no.
You are blinded, restrained, cannot breathe, and you need to make a con save at the start of your turn. Sorry, at the start of each its turns, or take damage. And you currently move with it, so someone can just put it in the same, put him in the same space. Which brings us, to
We
Marta.
surrounded him.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Surrounded him.
Yeah.
I guess I will. Let's see. So if I, with my magical movement, does that still?
Because you grappled. You're grappled and restrained here, actually. So.
Okay. So what if I push them away? How does that? How are the mechanics
You
of
can
that
attempt.
work?
You can attempt to escape the grapple.
But what
because
happens if I magically push them away? Like if I cast Thunderwave?
You are engulfed by it right now.
Yeah.
So it's like it swallowed you.
Okay.
So you can't
Would
push it
Thunderwave
off
work?
you necessarily.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what the mechanics of Thunderwave.
Because if it's around them, we should be able to.
Yeah.
The mechanics of Thunderwave, I mean, you'd be able to automatically hit it, but if it would push it, you just get moved with it.
Okay.
It's a little bit clunky, but that is how it is.
Okie dokie.
in this instance. What this
Yeah,
looks
then
like
I'll
to the
just,
rest of
I'll
you
just
guys.
Thunderwave. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So it makes a dex save, DC. Dex or con?
Con.
Constitution.
Okay, roll damage.
So 11.
11, okay. What this looks like to the rest of you guys is like this first one just sort of like Oakley gets his shit together, Bright Bow Room comes up, starts firing at that one, and then suddenly Marta just kind of like gets pulled into a bush. And then Thunderwave goes off inside the bush. Which brings us to, if there's nothing else on your turn, Torgal.
Alright.
Gonna try and get a bit of a closer angle on this.
I
because it's
am
really
going
low
to
res.
cast Raven Feeblement on the one in front of me.
Or even Feeblement. Oh my gosh, a spell that never gets used. Goodness.
It's a
Yeah,
sick
right
spell.
now I'm like, what do I roll for it?
Well, that's you should know that.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying, I should know that.
But I don't.
That's also what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
right.
It's good that we all know.
I don't think there's any spells that start with the letter Q. No, there aren't. But Raven Feeblement, ranged spell attack on a hit takes only half damage with weapon attacks. Use strength until the spell ends. Sorry, deals only half damage. Only downside is it is within melee of you, so you'd be making a ranged spell attack within 5 feet of it, so you'd have disadvantage.
Okay. Well, then fuck that.
Well, then fuck that.
I am going to... if I do extra attack, does that count as a bonus action?
No, extra attack is anytime you take the attack action, you make 2 attacks instead of 1.
Yeah.
Fully sick. Alright, well, I might as well attack it.
Fuck it up. The one in front of you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
My silvered greatsword appears out of nowhere in my hands. It's gonna like slice down on it. It's going straight down on top. And it's right in front of me.
Whack that weed.
Totally weed working. Oh fuck me days.
That good, eh?
What does that result to?
It's a natural one for a total of 10.
Yeah.
You still
no,
get
you
another
miss,
attack.
Yeah.
And fart loudly.
Yes, and then my other
I'm right behind you.
again, the other attack is
Have my mouth on.
a lot better.
Result
That
to-
would be 25.
That hits.
Nice.
Sweet. And I might as well desecrating strike.
Cool. Desecrating smite on this one.
Yeah.
And your level of spell slot just went up, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Give me a second. I had this whole fucking thing up before and then closed it like an idiot. So you should be on a 2nd level spell slot now, which means this is an additional 3d8.
Oh,
Damn.
sick.
Plus 2d6 standard. Oh, and look, 2 ones that I get to reroll. Love that.
Hold on. Great Weapon Master only applies to the weapon,
The weapon damage. Yeah.
Ah, dang.
not the smite damage, I'm afraid. So those 2 ones are just
Only one of them was the smite damage.
Ah, okay, cool. So,
Alright,
just
you're
take,
on it.
just
So
take
you're
one of
rolling-
that die as 1. Yeah.
So hold on. You've got because your weapon deals 2d6, right?
Yep.
And then 3d8.
And one it was
are
one the
D10.
sixes and
Those are D10.
oh fuck.
What a
I'm having
mess.
a day. I am having a day.
Math.
That's what I'm looking at. Fuck, where's the other one?
Yeah, it's the one with 8 sides.
That was helpful.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm having a day. That's better. Okay. Sweet. 16, 12, 14, plus 5, 19.
19 total. Okay.
Yeah, 19 total.
Cool.
Nice.
Good hit.
Sweet. And for my bonus action, I'm going to step into the stance of endurance,
Ooh.
Nice.
What's it
which
look like?
cuts my speed to nothing, but gives me 2 more AC,
Hell yeah.
bringing my
Yeah.
my temp armor class to 19.
Nice. Cool. Okay. Which brings us to Rosberg.
Rosberg.
Rosberg is going to probably charge toward the one that just ate Mata and take 2 attacks.
Yep.
2.
It's like, oh no,
Let go,
my best friend Marta.
Oh no.
Let me just doff
I'll
my
get you.
armor
Save
and
my character.
present myself as a much more attractive target to engulf.
So what happens when you don't turn up?
Take me instead.
I actually had.
Is he a feeder?
I once had a combat where 3 player characters died, 2 of whom were not at the session.
That would be
Yes.
very...
Yeah,
That happened.
Did the third one just
It
murder
was
himself?
bad. Well, 2 of them were brothers.
So,
So the other one was like, "Oh yeah, I'll
2
play my brother's
brothers.
character while
It's
this
just
guy's
two
not
brothers.
there that week." Sorry, I should finish resolving the
yeah.
the attacks.
No, all good. So 20 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Yeah. And that'll be 12 damage.
12
Oh,
damage.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
cool.
it punches and this thunder like
Thunder
rings out and it's
damage.
like kind of the shockwave wraps around.
Yeah, and like
this
this sort of massive vines and clod just kind of vibrates.
Yeah.
Second attack.
That's super cocked.
Super cock.
Super cocked.
From the makers of cock.
From the makers of cock, we bring you super cock. 19 to hit.
What about
So
biography name?
9 more damage.
9 more damage.
What about
More
Robocock?
Robocock.
Robococked.
No, that's already a thing. You can
Server
buy those.
protect. Yeah.
You
And
just
then-
invented something. You just reinvented the vibrator.
and that is his turn.
That it is his turn. Jeremiah.
Cool. Jeremiah. I'm going to point at whatever it is that swallowed matter and attempt to tell it a very funny joke. And I'm going to cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
DC.
DC 16 Wisdom.
Okay, roll damage.
Oh no! Hey,
it's-
no, there is no
There's
damage.
no
It
damage.
just
It just
Oh.
laughs.
becomes
Luckily, my
incapacitated.
constitution
Good talk. It is incapacitated.
Prune. Yep.
To do some of the maneuvers now because you're past 4th level.
I mean,
Yeah.
Some quite good ones there. You can do enhanced ability, gentle repose.
The one he really thought about doing the
You can
maneuver
do a bonus
was
action.
protection.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought. Yeah, I
bonus
thought
action
about
to give it
protect.
vulnerability to necrotic damage. That's pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought more protect would be the only other one that I would have gone for, but
Maneuver protects.
Between
Is
Combat
the
protection
is
for
the
me would be good.
desecrating
I should-
smite?
yeah.
Is that a necrotic
restoration
damage?
would.
So basically,
Restoration would.
if you
People who
want
need
to
healing.
with that one,
and
it would
someone else
double
can
the
just do an
damage
unarmed
of your
strike.
of your smite.
Just do that one.
So like
minutes
if you
is
try and
like-
line up for a big ass turn where you bonus action corrupt
Need
and
someone
touch,
really weak to
and
do
then do 2 attacks and burn your 2 smites on that. Like that's
like
like burning
critting,
all your
yeah.
resources because that's
Yeah.
both your spell slots and the corrupting touch is also only once per short rest.
Yeah, it burns everything.
Yeah.
Everything. But that's a lot.
Anyway, let's get back to it. I should actually put my microphone on. How about it?
Me too.
Look at that. Gosh, I sure do
Dios
hope we
mío.
weren't recording.
Oh, recording, but
It's all good. We'll cut it. We'll cut it. We'll definitely edit things.
Editing.
At
some point.
Do it in
We'll do
post.
it in post.
Let's fix it in pre-production, said no one ever. Cool.
why not?
So with that all kind of done and dusted, a lot of you guys press onwards. I am going to need you guys to make another survival check and perception check just to make sure you get back on the trail you were on adequately.
Can we take a short rest?
You can take a short rest as well.
Sweet.
A survival and, sorry?
And perception.
And perception, okay.
Oh, damn. Okay.
You fuck me.
18 for me, 8 for Rosberg for the
Survival. So 18-8. What was yours on survival?
7 on survival and
I'll get the perception out later.
9 as well.
19 for both.
Survival 18, perception 20.
Oh, I'll get the perceptions later because there's no way I'll
Okay,
hold
sure.
it. But yeah, it's basically the two of you that pick the trail back up in that case. Also, I'm assuming you guys you can do a short rest right now if you want as well before heading out.
Yep.
Cool.
So just resolve that as necessary. Anyone spending hit die, Song of Rest is a thing.
Yeah, I'll give you a Song of Rest.
One
And
day
you
you're
get an
gonna-
extra d6.
One day you're going to play Thunderstruck on that.
Will I?
I'm telling you.
Hold on, maybe I'm.
I told him, and it's happening. All right. Yeah, and once you guys have resolved that, the perception checks as well. You were
20.
19.
Perception checks. 16.
Okay.
Perception for me was 17, and for Rosberg was whatever this is plus 21.
Okay.
Ooh, nice.
19.
You guys are a lot more perceptive than you are survivalistic,
Survivally.
I'm a
Survival was
boy.
at 18. I didn't think of that.
which is probably for the best.
I hate swamps.
Meant to be looking for my pencil.
Tracking in a puddle here.
With that, you're able to just kind of keep the general bearing at this point. As you are moving roughly southward, sun is starting to get a little bit low. You spot in the distance, they don't seem to have noticed you guys. You pretty much all cotton onto it around the same moment. You see a small pack of goblins, looks like maybe 4 or 5 strong, all sat astride these kind of dog-like creatures. They appear to just be patrolling outward. They aren't coming in your direction, they don't seem to have noticed you, and they do eventually just go past you. This is like a ways in the distance. For what it's worth, they have come from the south, which is the direction that you guys are currently heading.
I recognize the dog-like creatures. Is there like
Do I recognize
You
the
might
dog?
make a survival, nature check.
Would I?
it's a dog?
No.
It's not amazing. Oh, 16.
Kinda. Give me a second. This is more a case of like. Oh, fucking hell, this is under this. It's less a case of I recognize this and more a case of by association and deduction.
It's not a warg.
This is probably a warg.
It's not a hellhound.
Like, yeah. It's yeah, just the general shape of it. You're like, it's kind of dog-like, but also there is definitely a goblin on its back.
Big boy.
That would be a
yeah.
warg.
Do I know much about them?
Not particularly. Small goblinoids are known to use them as mounts and sort of rear them as quite vicious, essentially attack dogs.
Wargs.
That's probably not good.
Should we let them go or try and draw them in and kill them?
We should let them go. I think less people to have fights. Better.
How far off are they?
They're quite a ways. It's like maybe like 300-400 meters.
What's the rough count?
Looks like 5.
We could just take him out now, but we don't know how far it is to the camp. It could just be over the next rise.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we just make
That's
sure
what I
we're
will.
stealthy from this point on.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially if they've got some sort of dog.
We just need someone watching our back, make sure they don't walk back into us.
Right.
Okay. With that as well, starting to get quite late in the day, and you'll need to find a dry spot to rest on. There's not necessarily a great wealth of options. Can I get a survival check from everyone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good time. 18.
10 and 16.
5.
28.
23.
Swamps.
Okay.
When it comes to important
Oakley is onto it. And good thing too, because you find a reasonably sized dry patch of land, and you spot just a critical little detail. You spot an arrow just kind of mussed into the mud. This is definitely a spot that has been used as a rest point for some other kind of creature, probably goblins.
Is it like goblin sized?
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You instead advise to find another spot, and you're able to find one just a little bit off that. You try and assume a rough patrol path and just get something off that. It does mean your rest spot is a lot less comfy, a lot less roomy, and it's also in sight of this particular mound. And with
Maybe
that,
no fires today.
Fair.
with that, I'll get you guys to set a watch, and I'll also get someone else to roll 3d6 as it comes into nighttime.
Okay.
I'll roll the 3d6.
I'll do one of the watches.
We'll pull around some brush. I can't see in the dark.
I can help you with that. So I'm
You
going to
can?
start helping him out.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna pull some brush around and see if I can obscure where everyone's sleeping maybe a little bit.
Yeah, make a nature check.
That is not a good face.
What, just in general?
Yeah. Also, wrong.
13.
What was that, 14?
13.
Rosberg would like to also help and give him advantage.
Sure. Does Rosberg have nature proficiency? Holy shit, why?
Ooh, that's 14.
Cool.
No, 13, sorry.
Oh, so same thing.
Yeah, 12 and 13, sorry. The first
Okay,
one was.
good talk.
Does anyone have a spare pencil?
Yep.
So you try and kind of
Got
move,
loads.
what brush and
That's
stuff
what
you
we're
can.
looking
There's not a whole lot of easily available low scrub or bushes or anything. And who was the 3d12?
Me.
3d6 roll. What did you get?
14.
Ooh, shit
Okay.
balls.
Wait, what'd you get? What?
14.
Hey! You beat me.
Nice.
Okay.
Positive. Silver line.
As you are setting up your camp, you're in the process of moving brush with Rosberg.
Did we short rest as well?
You have short rested, yes.
Yeah.
Get my spells back. No, my bardic inspiration.
Zoo.
Yeah.
You suddenly just feel this sharp pain in your back, and wind kind of gets knocked out of you. You can see an arrow sticking out of his back. Everyone roll initiative.
Oh, balls. Bags of balls.
It's a bull bag attack.
Sweet, pizza's
Jesus
almost
Christ.
Yes.
here. Pizza's almost here too, by the way.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just have a nice good time. We eat food. We order pizza.
Oh, yeah.
We die.
And then we get
die.
arrows in the back.
Eat hot chip and die.
normal girl.
Hot chip and die. In the woods.
I feel like most of humanity does that nowadays.
Yeah.
Eat hot chips and also at some point die.
Yep.
Okay, everyone's initiative starting with Rosberg. Fuck yeah, Marta.
6.
Oh shit. Torgal, keep it going, keep it going.
17.
Actually.
Sneaky
Zoo.
bastard. 21.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
Aaron in the
21.
back will do that for you.
Yeah, you're like, guys, I think we're being attacked. Everyone else is like, fuck you. Oakley,
20.
20, and Jeremiah,
22.
20 fucking
like,
2. You
Jesus, being attacked,
overachiever.
yeah.
You're like, Aaron in the back, what?
I'm going to go to our break screen.
Is it safe to stay here?
Doesn't fucking feel like it.
No, I don't think so either.
We're gonna have to find a new spot to camp before it gets dark. Or else we're gonna be.
I mean, it is dark now.
Okay. So, we either stay and hope it was a scouting party, or we leave. What's the call?
Rosberg pipes up. Good news is, if it was a scouting party, none of them got away to alert anybody.
Exactly.
They didn't
That's
leave
true.
town.
But that also means that
Yeah.
they're suspicious.
Town being this area that we've cleared for
Okay, we're
Even
we
for-
are.
town is wherever we find ourselves to be.
Yeah.
If that is a scouting party and they're gone for too long, they'll come looking. So I think it's best we try and at least move somewhere.
Maybe.
It is
That's a good
dangerous though.
point.
Yeah.
We shift on and just try and find somewhere better.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that.
Let's back trail a bit, get a bit further away. So, they were running back in that direction, so we can assume that that's where reinforcements are. So maybe we go back this way.
Yeah, how is that relevant? What he just pointed
So,
out, those directions from
If
how
you
where we
look
came
where you guys were making the camp, the other spot you had spotted that was sort of in the direction that you've been heading during the day, so the roughly southward direction would have been like roughly where that tape measure is. So these have come at you from the other side.
Okay.
Oh.
So this is almost... so if you guys have been heading southward, they came from the northeast.
Maybe they're returning back to camp.
Might be another patrol that happened to come in.
Okay. So if they haven't come from camp, why do they run back that way? Maybe it's just because that's where they came from.
Maybe they were tracking us.
Maybe.
Or that.
Is that the
yeah.
direction we came in?
The direction you guys came in was northward.
Okay. So
okay.
not on
Maybe
our
I'm
that's-
gonna.
No,
There's still a goblin body there, right?
Yeah.
Am I able to just check it?
Oh
See
yeah,
if
can
there's
I
anything
search
on it?
for the Goblin Lord as well?
The
Or the Goblin
yeah,
Lord?
the
Lord.
yeah, it's his body's pretty crispy as of now, but yeah.
Okay, cool. Roll investigation or what?
There's not really anything on value on them. There's some like crappy leather armor that's too small. There's some real dinky little weapons. The bow, the arrows are kind of too small for good use, and they don't exactly have wealth on them either, unfortunately.
Yeah, I guess I'm more just looking for like charms, insignias. Like,
Nothing that you can tell.
Okay.
He's got a locket of his family back home.
No,
Picture of
but-
his sweetheart.
Yeah. This is my baby doll. When I get back from the war, we're getting married.
I guess I turned.
It's
to
my
him and said-
last tour tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm heading back home to see my baby girl.
Yeah, I was gonna- she's due to give me a son in about a week.
I guess I'll just say, well, they don't have any insignia, so at least it's not like an operation that's too out of hand. You know? They're not extremely organized. They might be getting there, but I don't see like a sense of unification yet.
But should we move back the way we came then? Or
We may be stumbling around in the dark.
Yeah.
I think we should backtrack at least a little bit.
Okay.
I want to get away from this patrol.
I was just worried about the other one,
Alright.
as long as we don't go too far.
We know where the other patrol was roughly, right? You do. Let's just
Sure,
avoid
yeah.
that. And then
Yeah, the other
decide
patrol
what's
was roughly like way over here relative to that map.
Right.
up. So if we can just stay out of that and guess where this patrol was coming from, maybe these are where they intersect, and we can try and find a place to avoid both.
Okay. It's a plan.
So you're trying to find a different place to rest?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay,
Do we
can
want to
I...
hide the bodies, guys?
Oh yeah, good points. I'll use what is it? Mold earth? Yeah,
you
mold
mold
earth.
earth. I'll
Dig
gather
out
the
some
bodies,
earth underneath
yeah.
the water, and then we can
Yeah.
just.
Yeah.
I can use
Turf
shape
them there.
water, and we can like.
Yeah, just kind of
muddy
like
we can
submerge
muddy
them in
as well.
bog
Nice.
detritus so they can decompose with the
More
rest of the
goblins.
leaves. Okay, you guys are trying to find another place to rest. Can I get a survival check with disadvantage and a perception check with disadvantage?
Okay.
You're trying to make sure you're keeping your bearings and also finding suitable spots in the dark.
Right. It's definitely disadvantage.
8 for survival, 10 for perception.
10 for 8 for survival.
14 for Rosberg, natural 1 for me.
6 for survival. 20 survival.
With disadvantage.
With disadvantage.
Where'd you go?
10. So
And perceptions were, you were 10, you were...
For Mutta, that is an 8.
And
For Rosberg, that is an 8.
15.
13.
9.
It's not ideal, but you find reasonably dry, reasonably level little area to camp on. Far more cramped than the last one. It's also
It's just getting smaller. and
quite
smaller.
clotted in around with tree roots, which means it's not particularly easy to see in or out. Which is nice from a defensive standpoint, but it does also mean if sort of smaller things are heading towards you, sort of animals and the like, you might not notice them until they're basically right upon you coming out of the tree roots. But it's the best you've found. This is very unfamiliar terrain to all of you, really. And finding good enough dry earth is not easy. I'll get a watch from you guys.
Okay.
Who's on first watch?
I can do another
Need
one.
3 shifts.
3 shifts. So
I'll,
I can
I'll-
do a first watch.
First watch.
I'll take one of the watches because I've still got quite a bit of juice left. So
So who's on first watch?
Well, actually,
You are, and who else? One other person.
I'll do it.
Okay, second watch.
Yep.
I can take one, I just can't see in the dark, but I'll just.
I'll go and watch with him.
Okay.
And then Rosberg will take watch with you.
Yep.
Okay, so first watch roll now. Perception check, please. With disadvantage if you don't have dark vision.
I do.
I do have dark vision.
I'm just gonna say to the tree quickly, hey, we're just gonna sleep here. Can you keep us covered? It's okay. We're good guys.
Perception, eh?
That's what all bad guys say.
Shh, he doesn't know.
10 and
23.
20 fucking 3. Do you have dark vision?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm an elf.
shit. Oh yeah, you are. Forget that.
I forgot it for a while.
Yeah,
Who
same,
fucking
bro.
knows? Yeah. Around elves, watch yourselves.
Oh yeah.
I think knife ears.
Rough.
That's
Anyway.
racist.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Yup.
I'm allowed to say it because I am a racist.
I know. We're here for
Anyway,
Apparently, wanting to throw numbers is racist too.
you keep a keen eye out. That was a hell of a check. You can see a couple of interesting things in the distance. You can see quite a far ways away, near the first spot you came across. You can see what looks like maybe a low fire. Hard to see it super clearly. This is kind of through all kinds of swamp miasma and plant growth, but you can just barely kind of make it out. And every so often sort of flickers low enough that implies that something has kind of moved past it and blocked it temporarily. You can see in a few various spots around you just little swamp lights here and there. And there's another strange glow, one that you can't really account for. It looks more like the runic circles that Jeremiah has used. Just the color of it and the kind of low ambience of it, and it's definitely looking like it's kind of emanating up from the ground, whereas the what you reckon is the firelight is like very obviously the kind of orangey flickery glow, and the swamp lights are kind of just moving around, they're kind of bobbing above the surface of the swamp. This is like a light sort of blue-white. You can just kind of see almost this kind of illuminating some of the haze, and it's a little ways away from where you are. It's maybe like 200 feet out. It's quite a ways.
Right. What direction was it?
East.
East. Okay. I'll probably mention it to Torgal. I think there's a couple of things around here. Just need to. There's a fire just over there. Need to keep an eye on it. probably wouldn't tell him about the runic circle yet, actually. Just the fire. Over there.
You said a couple of things.
Hey? Oh, just the other lights. There's movement around the swamps.
Oh.
Cool.
And
You looking back in the direction of the third light that you saw, the one that had the sort of the more white-blue colour, appears to be gone now.
right. Cool. I probably would. Your second watch, eh?
Third.
watch. All right. Yeah. I'd probably just leave it and ponder it.
Okay.
Cool.
Second watch.
We're up. Perception. Ooh, that one and a nat 20. Min max.
So we would have obviously told him about the fire.
Yeah.
Is that what
I
you
assume
said?
so.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Pass that.
I can't see anything.
What?
I can't see anything.
Hey, it's okay. Calm down.
I
I'm
can't
too
see.
distracted calming him.
Yeah.
And comforting the
Who's
fact
that?
that he's blind.
I'm blind.
And just the most like useless watch.
You're all dead. yeah.
Luckily, nothing bad happens. But there is one thing you do notice. With the little bit of movement you've kind of done around the camp, the forest floor you're on is starting to get a little bit less firm, starting to liquefy and sink a little bit. It's not too bad.
Then on my shift, I'm going to just tell with the others I'm going to use shape water during my shift and just keep that water flow from coming in and like.
It's less like a it's like a non-Newtonian fluid. It's almost more like that. Like it's this is just the earth is close enough down to the water table that like it kind of sinks in a little bit to it as pressure is applied,
Right.
and like you can move a certain amount of water, like you basically like be moving a cube. 5 cubic feet I think at a time. Just like you'd be, like push it out underneath where you're at. Like the portion of the water table underneath you, you'd be sort of like pushing it away, and the rest would just kind of like move back in.
Then can I harden it by freezing it? I can do up to 10, like 2 5 cubic feet sections, but just freeze it a
yeah, that
little
would
bit.
probably do it actually.
Yeah.
I'll
just
yeah,
freeze
and
it.
that would also help kind of lift it up just a little bit as
And
well.
just stop with that
It expands,
squishiness,
it freezes. Yeah, does make for a slightly less comfortable sleep because it's fucking cold, but it's
You're
not the
wet.
worst. It's better than like sinking into the water.
And if I could, like, get it like a few like centimeters below the surface.
How
so it won't sink.
long does that last for?
I can keep 2 up for an hour, but then I can recast it. So I
Yeah,
can
sure.
keep
You
it
just
up
sort
on
of
my-
redo it. Sure. Unfortunately, that will have to come to an end as your watch ends. I like to imagine that's probably why you don't see much, is you're kind of having to spend your time focusing on that and making sure that these guys don't sink too far while they sleep. Third watch.
Me and Rosberg.
Like, hey, yo, could you do something with like your earthy thing? Like it's starting to get kind of mushy in here. And then also, I'm gonna kind of quietly say like, hey, did you tell me about the rune thing?
I probably would have told you as well.
Sure.
Actually, yes.
Hey, Zoo wanted me to tell you. Zoo wanted me to tell you about some runes that he saw out, and I'm gonna tell him the exact direction and location that Zoo tried to tell me. Just like, we thought you'd be interested, and it's something to watch out for. I haven't seen anything on shift, but I'm too busy keeping us from sinking.
Okay.
And our friend here can't see. He's been freaking out a little bit.
I've just been talking to the tree this whole time.
It's been comforting for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, just keep an eye out.
The tree calls you a punk.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's crazy. I never speak back.
The one thing he says.
This is the first time.
Yeah.
You'd think I'd be madder about it, but I'm not.
It'd be like if you pray every single night, and then like the only time God ever responds, he's just like, "Shut up!"
Hey, you told me to do this.
God, wouldn't that be the
The book
fucking
was
worst?
very specific.
yeah.
Okay, I will.
All right, if that's what you want.
Jeez.
So about that perception check.
Perception check.
Oh, yes.
Does Rosberg have dark vision?
I believe he has.
I think it was everyone but
You should do, right?
I think
I
everyone
do.
but Oakley.
Basal didn't
Yeah,
either,
dark
so-
vision 60 feet.
Cool.
9 perception from me.
Great.
Sneaking.
And I
That is
imagine
a
because I'm
14.
constantly looking out for
Yeah.
what
You're
they
actually
said.
looking at. Yeah, you're not looking for the right things, really.
No, yeah.
That's a 14.
Okay.
14.
Obviously, by this point, the fire in the distance has long since kind of burned low and burned out, and then finally the sun starts to break through the dense tree cover, and it comes to morning. What are your what are your rolls?
I got a +3,
Ooh.
and I haven't got the other one yet.
And who's receiving your prophetic visions? Also, the one on Rosberg has ended now.
Got 71 twice. How fucking weird is that?
Beautiful.
So
Seems
2
very
+
unlikely.
3s. The prophetic arcana. No, sorry, the divinatory. No, is it prophetic? Whatever one it is.
The balsamic
That
vinegar.
thing.
The balsamic vinegar. Cool. Thanks for ruining my homebrew.
That's alright. 71, you get balsamic vinegar.
I was playing. I was playing Dune yesterday, and I ended up in a combat, and I'm playing the Bene Gesserit, and I'm like, I'm about to turn you into eggs, Bene Gesserit.
yes.
I probably would apply it to Torgal.
Torgo.
Nice.
Sure.
For a 25, which is dodges by an inch. So next 3 times criticals become normal.
Oh,
yes.
there you go.
Well,
Amazing.
That's
Amazing.
until next long rest.
Yep.
Don't rest.
Never rest again.
Stay awake. It's until his next long rest.
I don't
rest.
Well, being undead, I kind of can I?
I think your thing is you can choose to not sleep, but you do still need to long rest.
Yes.
Gotcha.
In fact,
If you have a way to keep it going forever, fantastic.
the specific wording
Elves trouncing.
Yeah.
on undead nature is
That's my
you do not require food, water, or sleep. However, if you go more than 24 hours without one or more of these, your undead nature will become detectable. That's the wording on that.
Alright, so
you-
it stops you from decomposing?
What?
Or like you rest to...
No, this is a Death Knight thing.
Sure.
Because technically, he's dead.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, like, we should know it then.
What it is he counts as undead for the purposes of any spells or like abilities, like detect undead, or turn undead. Though I don't imagine that could actually help you really.
No, but it'll be shit.
You do still need to rest, which means you can essentially not sleep as long as you're like doing basic. It's similar to what's it, Aspect to the Moon, where you can do light activity. It's like basically you'd be like just sitting and chilling, like maybe reading or something instead of sleeping. You can do that, but obviously there is the drawback if you go more than 24 hours. Anyway, morning breaks, and Rosberg fixes it.
Tink, tink.
Thank you. Not my best, but thank you.
That's decent.
What are we
Can't
up to?
really cook anything. We should eat and move.
Can we? Is there any activity towards where the campfire was that we saw?
Make a perception check.
We should go
Why
and
not?
take a look at it. See if there's any
I'll give you advantage
remaining
on that.
fire.
Advantage?
How?
I've got perception as well, so
We're both proficient.
both proficient, yeah.
Oh,
Okay. In this case, what I will actually do is I'll get you guys to each roll separately, because perception is one of those things like you can't really do anything to make his eyes better.
he comes around and just does that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Whoa! I never thought about it like that. He puts glasses on you, like,
Yeah.
oh my! How did I not
He
notice?
says no, over there.
25.
Because that's the thing. You can't really make
Damn.
someone else better at perceiving something unless you
Yeah.
yourself have already perceived something.
Yeah.
It's the one thing that kind of sits as an exception to the whole assistance thing.
Makes sense.
And like
And Torgal
insight.
got
13.
so you're 25. Yeah, whatever was there has moved out.
Okay.
You can, like, barely in the distance see like the little pit, the ashes of the fire.
I want to go have a poke around, see if I can see
I'm coming
what was
too.
there.
I'll go with him since I'm with you.
Is everyone
Just
going
keep an
there?
eye out. Yeah, we might as well.
Just
We're
bounce
moving
it.
now, right?
Investigate.
Alright.
Okay.
Why not?
Should
Okay.
we have
I'll
a,
be keeping
have a
an eye
poke
out.
around?
And then maybe we'll check out that other thing.
Yeah, I think that might be a good idea.
Was that where
Okay.
the thing was that you
No,
told him to
separate
tell
place.
me, or someone else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so first heading over to the fire that you'd seen tonight. You get there, like, this was just the initial camp spot that you had come across the day before. Not the one that you got attacked at, the one before that. There's just some remains of a fire. There's some, like, fecal matter just kind of lumped in a little pile off to the side, like near some of the water. Looks like animal droppings. It looks like a patrol of some kind slept here overnight. That much is pretty obvious.
Cool. Well, maybe this is where we start our tracks.
Yeah, sensible.
Hold on.
What did you want to look at?
So last night, I thought I saw something runic, like what you do. On the ground, there was like a light source, similar to what I woke up in, basically, when we had that fight.
Where was it?
Over, would it still be eastwards from where we were?
Yeah, like you could still
Yeah.
get the same bearing and what you roughly felt the distance was, yeah.
Out of
Okay,
way.
cool.
Well, that doesn't sound good.
No, especially if that magic's as rare as
How far away is
you
it?
told me.
From where you are now,
Yeah.
like almost 400 feet. So like you guys went pretty much 200 feet in the opposite direction to check out the campsite, and then
Okay.
Whoopsies.
I'm gonna head back in the direction that he said it was, and then I would like to cast Detect Magic.
what's your range on Detect Magic?
I've been
30
following as well.
feet.
Okay, so you're just gonna have that running as you move, right?
Yeah.
How long
yeah.
does it last?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, so you sort of head back to your initial campsite. Can I get you all to make a?
Just something to mention to the group real quick. Should you do that protection thing?
Oh, shit. Yes. Do we?
While we investigate, maybe we'll take the time to do it. You want to cast it for an
I
hour?
can cast it.
Takes an hour, right?
Yeah, it takes me an hour or 6 minutes.
We need somewhere to sit that's dry.
Yeah. As long as I stay put, I'm assuming and the person stays put while I do it.
Yeah.
That's all I need. So yeah, as long as we find somewhere that we can set up.
I just
Okay.
thought it should be worth
Yeah.
mentioning. I mean, if they're
Yeah,
watching
maybe
us,
we
then-
just go back and sit where we were camping. I'll keep an eye out while you do your thing.
Okay.
Okay, let's go back.
Okay. And then you're gonna take time to ritual cast Obfuscate, and
Keep
then
an eye out.
you're after that. I assume are gonna head out in the direction. that it's
Yeah,
going.
yeah, yeah.
How many of you guys
I'll
are?
go with him.
Yeah. Who else is going? Because anyone who's going, I'll get you guys to make a survival check.
I guess Rossberg will go as well. So the
okay.
three of us.
Surviving to be
Yep.
done.
You guys watch him. You guys get casted on and watch him. We'll go check that out real quick. We'll be back soon.
Yeah, I would have done your guys
You can
first.
see us.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Sign you
I assume you would have done all 6 of you.
Yeah.
at once.
Okay,
And like
afterwards,
do
then
that
I'll help
before.
out.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't break it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Okay, yeah,
Well,
that
I'll
makes
assist with the survivals because I'm very good at that.
Okay.
No, this is like if the group of you are going, you're each making a survival check.
Yeah,
I think
okay,
it's similar to what
yeah,
we're doing today.
Sick.
Damn it.
Rosberg got a 23.
Damn.
So yeah, Rosberg's paying attention. Good thing too.
A natural 1.
17.
6.
Yeah, good thing because the rest of you sort of obviously you saw it in the night. It was a wee while ago now. You've slept a bit since then, and you were only a sort of ballparking a distance in a direction. You only saw it the one time briefly. So this is like how well you've recorded it, and then pass that along to everyone else, and then them trying to find it. You're not really seeing anything. You walk until it's definitely been long enough that you reckon you would have come near it. Just not really getting anything. As you kind of start heading back a little bit, you pick up something with Detect Magic.
Yes. What is it?
He's thirsty.
It's kind of peculiar with Detect Magic. You feel a very distinct presence of an active spell, and you can. What's the thing? You can
The school.
focus on it to get the skull.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm assuming you're doing that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely runology.
Okay.
You aren't able to see anything though.
Okay.
We know it's within 30 feet of you.
Yeah.
Let's keep walking around.
Am
till you bump into something.
Are we standing in like swamp, or is it just?
This is like a bit of a
earth
dry
or, like-
patch here.
Okay,
This
cool.
bit.
I'm gonna frantically drop to my hands and knees and start searching the ground around 30
excavating.
feet. Yeah.
Make an investigation check.
Nice.
You're gonna be more
Can I, if I see him doing that, can I offer
Assistance.
advantage?
Yeah.
Or do it myself?
Yeah, like you can assist him on this. Yeah. Gotta offset that one, huh? What is it? What's
It's 14.
Okay. No physical traces of anything, but still distinctly, like, you know that there's, like, maybe there's just no physical perceptible thing, but like detect magic is definitely not deceiving you here. Like, there's something here. There's just nothing you can see or find. No other particular evidence, except for a boot print pair of boots that are different to all of yours. It's probably the only thing you find.
Okay. Well, I'm not quite sure what we're looking at. I know there's definitely some rune magic here, but sometimes the rune gets cast, it shows up temporarily, and then you can't perceive it anymore after that. So that's normal. But there's a boot print here, and I vote that we try and find who this boot print belongs to, because they maybe know what this magic is.
Agreed.
Alrighty.
So someone else is out here casting.
What kind of boot? Can I show them the boot print?
Yeah, like this is, I mean, just based purely on the size and shape of it. Like these are like proper wilderness boots for one thing, and like a normal human-sized footprint as well. Like it's not particularly big or small.
Rosberg's gonna go over and use the magical trinket feature. He's gonna try and copy, like, as much of an exact replica of the boot prints on the inside of his shield as he can.
Okay, yeah, cool, yeah.
Nice.
Is it like a slender kind of boot? Like a lady boot? Or
Would it be a survival
Make
thing to check
a
like gait and shit like that?
Yeah.
I was, I mean,
Like-
this
Yeah,
would
can I
probably
survival?
it would actually be nature more than it would be survival. In the same sense that, like, if you were trying to figure out what kind of animal a thing was based off a track, you're like, what do I know about animals and the tracks they make, which would be nature.
sure.
So this would be effectively nature. Yeah.
Cool. Can Rosberg,
One could
make
argue if someone had experience as a cobbler, they could do it as a crafting check, but this is otherwise going to be nature.
I'm proficient in nature. Is
Do
anybody
you
else?
Rosberg is. Rosberg's gonna make the roll.
How good is he?
Excellent.
Okay, I'll help him out.
So Rosberg with advantage.
Excellent.
So the two of them kind of look over and ponder it.
Nice. It's a total of 25.
Oh shit.
It's more than I can
Based purely off size alone, assuming that it is humanoid, it definitely looks doesn't look wide enough to be halfling, and looks larger in general than like a gnome or something. So assuming it's standard humanoid, this is probably a man's boot, just because it's roughly the size of your guys' boots. It's not like it's massive. It's probably like no bigger than like your guys' shoe size, roughly, like a bit smaller than Torgal's. I mean, first of all, furbolgs sometimes wear shoes. It's not like a hard and fast thing. Some do, some don't. But you tend to have wider, flatter feet, and this is
Pretty
definitely
big
too
anyway.
narrow to be a furbolg boot.
Okay, so we've got a dude's boot.
Dude's boot.
Positive.
It's like
Well,
it's
I
a
guess
pair
it's-
of. It's not just like
Sure.
one boot. It's like
Yeah.
he's just standing
It's
on
not
one
hopping.
leg.
Yeah, it's hopping. Yeah.
He doesn't want to get the swamp mess on his other boot while he's
Yeah.
casting spells.
Which
you
way
know?
is he going?
Now we have a decision. Track him or track the goblin?
Well, are they both going in the same direction?
Not Sure.
What can we tell from
Yeah.
the
Can I try and
prints
track
we
it?
have so far?
These don't appear to have come from a direction.
Okay, they're just there and
Just there.
okay.
Do they go anywhere?
Okay.
These are the only ones. In all fairness, there's not a lot of trackability around here. This is a little dry patch, kind of surrounded by a kind of like 2-3 inch deep kind of mire of water and boggy mud. So it's not like it's terrain that would leave other prints. But even on this little mound of dirt, which is like maybe like 15 feet across total, even on that there's only the pair of prints, and it's like stood as though someone was just like standing feet, beneath them as normal kind of thing.
Right.
Okay. Well, maybe we should just head in the direction of the goblins originally.
Yeah.
Keep
it's
an
just
eye out for this
interesting, but
individual.
not much to act on.
No.
Yeah, we'll just keep tracking it.
Okay.
All right, heading back out towards the goblin camp. Then I need an alarm table roll. Who wants to do the 3d6? And then I'll also need to get survival and perception checks.
I can do the
3d6
3d6.
first. Yep, alarm level is now at 2.
Oh, crap.
12.
Ah, yeah.
Fucking that's 6. Now you roll. I already died once.
Okay, survival perception.
Yeah, survival perception.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, survival.
Sure. Aye,
So I'll get everyone's survival first.
8.
30 with a net 20.
30.
30. Fuck off.
30.
I got a plus 10.
Yeah.
So 19 and 21.
Seriously?
4.
And perception.
9 for my survival.
9. Perception.
Perception. 20.
15.
Fucking 9.
15. 25 for Rosberg,
Nice.
and a 9 for me.
I love being good at survival.
As you pass back over where you had all camped out the night before, you notice something kind of interesting. Obviously, you'd been moving over it quite a lot, moving around. Those footprints and other imprints of where you'd set up your sleeping rolls and stuff like that. It's gone. It's very smoothed over. Rosberg spots why. You can see just ahead of you in the direction you're going 2 large masses of plant matter slowly moving away from where you guys currently are.
Oh.
So that's the cleanup crew.
Interesting. Okay. Avoid that.
Yeah, look out for that.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, they are heading in the direction of the other camp.
The one we stayed at, or
No, this is, you're currently at the one you stayed at. The other camp is the
where we got
the one with the firelight.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the one you got attacked at, yes, and then also the one with the firelight.
They're attractive.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
All right. So I guess let's. Can we? So are these guys erasing the tracks, or is this just? What
They're
we're
just
gonna
kind of
do?
moving, and as they move, they kind of they seem to just pick up, just sort of surface level mass beneath them, and also just kind of smooth over. It's not like a Zamboni,
Yeah.
but it's like it just kind of
It's like a
it
big
kind of
groove.
replaces any other surface imperfections with their own ones that they kind of make as just the various bits of them kind of drag over the malleable ground.
Okay.
Okay.
So what should we do?
Give them a wide berth.
Yep.
Yeah. See if we can pick the tracks back up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gonna have to try.
Okay, so we're going around them.
Sure they're not friendly.
Pretty
Okay.
positive.
They don't move particularly fast, which is good. You guys are able to move faster and just sort of like taking your distance. You basically would have got to the other camp around about the same time they would have. This is the the one you saw the fire at the previous night,
Hmm.
the one that you've already gone out and investigated. By this point as well, you've probably killed like 2 hours of the morning. Yeah, you would arrive at like pretty much the exact same time as they would have. Pardon me. And then, yeah, continuing in that direction, you kind of pick up some tracks. Not super convincingly. Again, it's just it's creatures moving. Every so often, bumping against trees and stuff, and you're seeing when you are seeing prints, you're seeing paw prints more than you're seeing footprints.
Wargs again.
So continue heading that direction, but keep an eye out for the vegetation. The vegetation that we saw, the plant matter, does it look exactly like a lot of the stuff that we're
Similar
walking
to the ones
past?
from yesterday, and yeah, like it's hard to pick it out in particular.
Sure.
And it's also slow enough moving that if it weren't for the fact that you had seen it and you'd seen it moving, you could quite easily lose it. Part of that is also just like sightlines. There's a lot of trees. There's a lot of like just the boggy mass, which isn't just like earth. It's like broken bits of wood and rotted trunks and like leaves and other organic matter. Like it's quite a lot of stuff, and the stuff kind of blends with it quite well. Also, if it moves into a more sort of watery part, it'll sink quite significantly into the bog and then kind of lift back up somewhere, and it's quite easy to just sort of lose it through the general kind of undulating landscape of the swamp, and the every so often there's sort of these rippling effects in the air above it as swamp gases are released, things like that.
Okay. Right.
But you are able to keep an eye on them, and just because you guys are giving them a bit of a wide berth, like I said, if they're moving slowly and then you guys are going around and then you move faster than them, and if you chose to go back specifically to that spot, you would probably get there around about the same time. Instead, you're like roughly here.
Yeah, sure. Moving parallel.
Yeah, with like that direction being southward in this particular explanation.
I would be keeping an eye out for goblins, actually.
Yeah, okay. Make a perception check.
13.
Okay, and what's everyone else doing while you're traveling?
If these guys are...
Given that you've picked up a bit of a trail, which Oakley is having no trouble following.
Cool. Then I'd also be on the lookout.
I'll get you to make a perception check as well then.
Yay.
Woo!
So natural 20 for 21.
Okay. You are all kind of just continuing southwards. After roughly half a day, you come across another decently sized patch of earth. You see this from a bit of a distance, and there's like a very crude set of wooden spikes that kind of ring it. It's not particularly dense. There's just like a few of them kind of ringing this particular patch. You see this from a distance. There's nothing else there. Currently, you aren't seeing any other creatures or anything there, but you do spot that a little ways ahead of you.
How big does it look?
I would tell...
From a distance, like it looks like it's maybe it's like 50 or 60 feet across. It's pretty sizable.
Alright. Yeah, I tell people to held up and I point that out and be like, I don't know what that is, but I feel like it's not good. Things here aren't great.
This could be another patrol
What do you
spot.
think of that, Oakley? What is that to you? Rosmer, what do you think?
What am I looking at here? Sorry, I was looking at the ground.
Looks like town.
Don't leave.
Roseboy, we're just kind of like, yeah, kind of like what we found yesterday, right? Where there was like maybe a campsite, like a regular campsite. It's my best guess. We've seen a couple patrols already, so if they patrol out here, then
Yeah.
you have usual places you stop when you're out on patrol, I guess. I don't know. I've never been a guard, so.
Any signs of movement around?
If you want to draw closer and make an investigation check, you can do that.
Yeah, let's keep it low. Just see if we can.
Can we send our invisible friend in?
Oh yeah. Want to be the invisible friend? Just
Yeah,
don't stand
give
in
it a
any
try.
puddles.
That's going to be difficult around here, but okay.
Yeah. You can't fly too.
What's your problem, bud?
Fly, bro?
It's hard to find good help.
Yeah, I will
Someone take these away.
cast invisibility and try and stealth my way up closer.
I'm gonna cast fairy fire on him.
Before you
So
go
invisibility
Ah.
invisibility and stealth. So roll stealth with advantage.
Nice.
That one really
That
travelled.
that was a
took a
roller
while to
coaster.
decide.
So
roller coaster, roller
17, wait, stuff. 18.
18?
Stealth.
Cool. Yeah, you try and just avoid any like particularly squishy, squelchy parts of the ground. Try and stick more to like tree roots and things because first of all, often the earth's a bit more clodded up around them. Secondly, you can sometimes just like step on the roots themselves. Between that, you're able to approach relatively noiselessly and tracelessly, which is good. And then once you're sort of there, go ahead and make an investigation check.
How
18.
far out are we?
Nice.
It was almost
You're
full.
like
Scared the
maybe
shit out of me.
150 feet away from this thing. You're like keeping your distance, just trying to not be too obviously visible.
As he starts, I get nervous as he starts to move away. I'm gonna back him up just a little bit. I'm gonna stay 60 feet behind him.
Are you also being stealthy? Keeping in mind that he's invisible.
Yeah, I know.
No,
but
anyway.
it
But yeah,
makes
like
me
you're like
worried.
gonna try and roughly move at the same pace. So go ahead and
I
make a
get-
stealth check as
I
well.
get nervous.
Yep.
Oh,
That's okay. So 9.
yeah, not
Should've
as
been quiet.
quiet as you'd like. You're at least aware that you're not being super quiet, but also you're not seeing any movement or anything responding to you, which is good. You make your way out there. You sort of take a look around the place. Similar kind of thing. You just see some like detritus. You see a couple of what looks like old bones and discarded fruit peels, things like that. Just looks like someone was through here somewhat recently to just eat and take a break before carrying on. No signs of a campsite or anything, at least not recently. As you are making your way back, can I get a perception check from you? And also get one from you.
17.
19.
You both spot this, luckily. As you're coming on your way back, as you're leaving, hear first almost like a sniffing kind of sound, and then you see coming out through the brush, basically right by you, are a group of these dog-like creatures, each with goblins on their backs. You see 5 in total.
How far away?
They are like 20 feet from you. They've just like kind of pushed out through the underbrush. They can't see you. You're invisible.
Yeah, I just stopped still.
Yeah, you see this happen.
Yeah. Okay. Do they notice me?
Let's find out. You weren't particularly stealthy. They're just kind of moving around, sniffing around the area, and then they kind of come to a stop, and a couple of them get off and start kind of making to set up a kind of camp.
Like right
And
in
then
front
one
of
of them spots you.
Shadow.
He's in the middle of that.
me. Shit. Yeah, you have no idea why.
Wait, I thought they were 20 feet away from him.
No, like that was like when he first spotted them. They've like come into that area. He was still
Oh,
stood there.
shit.
Yeah, like they're
Okay,
like
that's
setting
fine.
up the camp
Yeah.
around where you guys are, and then one of them kind of like sees you.
Shit.
You kind of see that happen as they kind of like they're all about to get off. One of them, just as he's sort of getting off, kind of like
Draw them to us.
And then some garble like to the other ones, and they'll kind of like look around and lock on to roughly the direction. They start getting back on top of their creatures. I will need you guys to roll initiative.
Oh.
What's that? 3 combats,
no.
1 session.
It's so low.
It's so low.
So low.
Oh, 12.
I love Dick.
Damn.
Yeah.
Supposed to do that before we go live.
This is for you,
Okay.
audience.
Fishing of Dungeons and Dragons.
So,
Tonight we'll be shooting into the darkness.
Yes.
Is
yeah.
that a
we are theatre of the mind on
is that a
this
sex
one.
thing?
So, cool.
Yes.
Thanks for
Yes.
really
Yes,
just
it
woo. So yeah, we'll be theatre of the mind on this one. So there are these. The 5 of them will kind of around you. They spot Marta. They immediately remount and start booking it towards Marta. One of them immediately kind of takes off, where the other's about to be in tow. Marta, you're up.
Okay.
Actually, hold on. Takes up and yeah, you know what? It's going to try and make a ranged attack at you anyway. It can try.
Cool.
It's unlikely to be successful here, but 13.
Yes.
Yep. No. Yeah, your turn.
How far away am I?
Like you said, you were hanging back about 60 feet.
From
So
him.
60 feet.
60 feet. Okay. Then I'm gonna book it back.
For what it's worth, the
30.
first one is it kind of takes off. Like it's closing the distance fucking fast.
Yeah. I'm gonna book it back 30.
Mm-hmm.
And action dash, book it back 60.
Yeah, cool. That'll bring you pretty much back towards where these guys are.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the next 3 are all going to move dash. That brings them to within 20 feet of the cluster of you guys. These things are fast, but that is instead of any other actions. So the first one sort of like leads the charge. 3 just immediately take off as a sprint, just like splashing up bog water as they go, kind of splashing up against the fur and some splashing on the riders. Which brings us to Jeremiah.
Cool.
Say it.
I'm going to pull out my scroll of haste and cast it on Torgal.
Cool.
Noise.
You are now hasted. And then I'm
Fucking
going to move
nice.
back
I
25
like to imagine
feet.
what it is you pull it out and you go, hurry up.
yeah.
And the scroll like
No,
disappears.
but calm down, and then that gives them
Yeah.
haste, yeah.
So
Cool.
are they right up near us now?
Yeah, they're like right the fuck. They've closed
So what
hard.
is
Rosberg.
Right, new plan.
PC. Oh, sorry. He is going to run forward and are 2 of them grouped together? So can he get within
There's
5
like
feet of 2 of them?
the 3 of them are all grouped together. In fact,
Cool. Yeah. So he's gonna. Yeah. He'll go. Can he get all 3 of them in a thunder wave?
oh yeah, easily.
Cool. He'll second level thunder wave.
Second level thunder wave. Can't save. DC. Oh, what am I doing?
19 damage.
19. Okay. As I sort of just kind of across a lot of them, none of them get knocked back. And the bulk of these creatures, they've kind of got this big ridge on their back. The riders are kind of sheltered from this by that. Also seems like that would make them quite hard to target as well, if you were trying to target things specifically. Which brings us to Torgal.
Alright. What's close to me?
Everything. There's 3 goblins riding wargs barreling towards you, about 20 feet away.
20 feet. You have double movement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, they're not 20 feet away from me anymore.
You actually do a lap around them just to show off. They move 50 feet, you move 60. You're like, woo!
I just run towards them, and as I run towards them, I like put up my hands, and my sword just like pops into existence.
Yeah, go for it.
Great sword.
So just attacking one of them?
Yeah, whichever one's at coming first.
Yeah, let's go. Roll to hit.
Ooh, that's a shit one for the first one. It's 12.
Doesn't hit.
Oh, all right. Second one. Oh, you dick! That rolled bad.
Is it worse?
No, 13.
13 hits.
Oh, yeah, sweet. I'll take that.
Nice.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm like, which one? Oh, who am I hitting, by the way? Am I just hitting both of them combined, or like?
The beast
the
seems
goblin.
to sort of like move itself to be in the way. Like they're
Okay.
clearly trained to protect their riders.
Sweet. Okay, fine. I'm gonna.
It's like if a horse with a dude on its back is running towards you, you try hitting the dude. Like shit's not easy, and these things are also far bigger than a goblin is. Relative to like a horse.
That
relative
would
to a
I'm
person.
more concerned about. So I'm smiting this fucker.
Schmite, go for it.
I got 1, 2 on the weapon damage. Let's roll that.
12, 17.
17. That's enough. As you sort of like, you just like slice clean through this thing, and like, you kind of get it, like through the face. So like splits it across the jaw and like deep into the back of this large ridge on its back, and kind of slice it clean through. That kills the warg. You get another action from haste.
A special
Shane,
one,
you got another action from
Yeah.
haste that you can use to make an attack or cast a spell.
I
I think it is.
No, just
No,
an attack.
just an attack.
Just an attack, yeah.
What happened? What happened with the
Dash as
goblin?
well or something. Anyway,
What happened with the goblin?
on its back, it's now just a goblin.
Now just a goblin.
Like this is all in like a quick enough. Well, like this is in like a short enough frame of time that it's like. It's not like it's crashed to the ground and the goblin's picked itself up on its feet yet. It's like it's probably going to do that, but it's still your turn.
I miss it, spin around, come
Straight
back,
through, like cleave through
straight
its
through
throat.
it, and then come back at the goblin.
Is it prone at the moment?
yeah.
No. Well, it's not anything.
I'm just spinning
Yeah.
and
Right,
going
it's
with
It's
the
still sat on the back of this thing that's dead.
Right, hasn't
This is
fallen
like
down
slow
yet.
motion.
What is it? For a lot of water. Good for 20, 30, 20.
Yeah, that hits. Yep.
Yeah, thought it might.
Did you know?
That sounds about right.
For 14 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah. This kills the goblin. As you just like through the thing and then decapitate the goblin before the warg has even hit the ground. Yeah. The other ones haven't even had time to react yet and like break formation, but Oakley, you're up.
And hold on,
Oh.
can I just go? And then I'm just going to start some endurance in the spot.
Nice.
Sure. Okay.
So they're all clumped together, right?
So
There are
your
two of
strength
them.
is 5,
Well,
so
it's
you
3.
get
Now
+1
2.
weapon damage,
Oh, so it's
and
2
your break
riders
versus
on
one
wargs.
side
Yeah,
should be
2
pretty
wargs on
good.
two riders on 2 wargs.
Oh, okay.
There's actually 2 wargs stacked
I
on
thought
top
there
of one
was
another.
Yeah. They're forming Wargtron.
Goblins stacked and 2 wargs stacked.
My favorite is the
oh,
warg.
well,
There's
rider
one
goblin.
goblin like sat on the shoulders of the other one, and then 2 wargs stacked on the top
Yeah.
of the. So there's 2 riders, 2 wargs, but not necessarily in that combination.
Right.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna be like, blinded by the light, and
Yep.
then fairy fire behind so it doesn't hit Torgal.
Yep.
16. With save. Dex save, sorry.
Okay, one of the wargs fails, everything else passes.
Excellent. And with my bonus action, I'm gonna give Mata a D6 inspiration.
D8?
D8.
No,
shit.
you get a D6.
Yeah, I didn't want to give him a D8. No, D8 is cool.
7 and 8.
You get a D6 because he's racist.
Mm-hmm.
I am not.
No, I'm
He said
racist.
No,
that.
you're racist.
And that'll do me.
He's the racist.
Thank
You're.
you so much.
He's the racist. You're the race. That's how it works. Yeah. Old hornheads. Zoo, you're up. You are invisible. There is still one
Fucking
near you
miles
that
away.
hasn't quite yet
Oh, really?
taken off. Just because it hasn't had a chance to go yet. Like this guy was still like getting over to his dog. He's taking a while.
How far am I from these guys, though?
From those guys, 120.
Jesus. Fuck.
I thought you might say that.
Yes. I'm gonna look at the guy going for his walk and just fucking dash, try and to get back here as quickly as possible. I just use my action and go.
Okay, so move dash 60 feet. Cool. Which brings you to where Marta is. Oh no, because you started
He's
moving.
moving, right?
Brings you to where Marta was.
Yeah.
Okay, which brings us to that rider. Fun. You're kind of going off. Not necessarily being careful.
No. Fuck it.
Okay. As this thing takes off, it is bounding directly towards you, and then just straight past you.
That was
In the
what I was
direction of
hoping.
everyone else,
Yeah.
which means it gets all the way up to you, and it's going to attack you. So you've got stance of haste or endurance right now.
Endurance.
So you also get another +2 armor class from haste. So you have
Oh,
21.
I'm concentrating as
Okay.
well, by the way.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just keep it in.
There's a 20, so no.
Yeah.
And then no.
Hack the
Okay,
planet.
which brings us to top of the round. The first one that kind of gave the command is going to continue. Also gets up to Torgal. You're gonna need to shrug off a lot of hits here, bud.
Yep.
That's an exact 21.
Ooh.
So that will hit.
Oh, hold on.
Is that his
Can you see
AC? Oh, yeah, so that's your AC. So I'll
Yeah,
just
yeah.
give it a. and
Oh,
reduce
that makes me
by
so
3.
unsettled.
Take 3 off that. So.
Yeah, so this is the goblin on its back is not going to hit either. Which brings us to Marta.
Cool.
It just can't hit you. It's like, it's like
makes me think-
I mean, it's because it's endurance. It's less like ducking and weaving, and more just like tink, 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 tink. Like nothing is able to get purchase on you.
It reminds me of the old Western like gun sounds, like.
So they're all kind of gathered around Torgal right now.
Yeah, there's now 4 of them. Yeah, and one of the wargs is verified.
Okay.
4 riders, 4 wargs. You pick the combination.
I'm gonna run up.
It's like those
Yes.
Goomba stacks in Super Mario Odyssey.
Can I line up? How many can I line up without including Torgal in a thunder wave? If I move up.
You're kind of coming from the wrong side of it, unfortunately. You'd sort of need to move around them, and then you could probably get to the side of them and get like 3 in a pinch. Because they're kind of like semicircled around him.
3 out of 4 in bed.
Yeah, actually, probably it's more like probably realistically 2. The thunder wave.
Like a
It's
warg and a rider,
yeah.
you mean? Oh.
There's a cone, so yeah, if, like you'd sort of like angle yourself so that like the edge of the cone is like passing just in front of Torgal, so you'd get 2.
Okay.
Like that's like warg rider combination.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
I'm going to just move forward and yeah, I'll attack 1.
Cool.
So.
Do you want to go for the one that's verified? So
Yes.
you have advantage.
Yes.
Cool.
That one. Wild dice.
That dice really well. So it's
Um,
trying to escape.
So that's a 26 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Definitely hits. And that is going to be 9 damage.
9. Okay, cool.
And then bonus action attack.
Mm-hmm. With advantage. It's verified.
That's cocked.
Yeah, we roll.
Okay, so that would be. What was the first roll? Oh well, yeah,
Like
it hits.
a natural 12 or something.
Yeah, so it hits.
Yeah.
And that is a d4 for 7 damage. So yeah, throw out my sword.
Nice.
Flip around a
How
little
do you have
bit.
a plus
pull it
6?
Yeah.
back. I have a improved pack weapon.
And then you have 5 in the stat, yeah. Sure.
Not bad on a D4.
That's enough to down it.
Yes,
Bitch.
bitch.
Cool.
Just buzz on it.
Which brings us to their go. A couple of them are going to now go for you instead. Because you're there and they can't seem to hit you.
Cool. The first one that comes into my 10
They're
reach.
like, if you've moved up in melee
I
with
would have
them,
backed up before ending my turn. Sorry, I definitely would have done that.
they would have got attack of opportunity then.
If I stayed, I only moved up within 10
Within
feet.
10 feet.
Oh yeah, because
Throwing my
you've
sword.
reached.
Reach
Fair
properly.
enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know that they would know that then. So yeah, so you back up. They one of them kind of like probably the goblin that just kind of got knocked off would probably peel off to go for you.
Cool. Yeah, as he comes in,
Yep.
I throw my sword at him.
Yep. Go ahead and attack.
Sweet.
Is he fairy type?
You can also get an
No,
attack
no, it's just
opportunity
not
against it if you want.
Yeah.
Ah, darn, that's 12. This is cool.
Darn.
Darn.
You have inspiration.
Oh my gosh, I do. I'm definitely gonna use
D8.
that. Thank you.
That's
That's right.
25.
Oh my gosh.
You even gave
16
him
to hit.
You even gave him a
25.
D8.
Both hit, so your damage.
Yes.
Yes, queen.
So 9 damage, or 8 damage.
And Torgal.
15.
Oh.
As what happens is like I like to imagine like it sort of like lands on its feet and tries to sort of like dart towards you with its blade out. You sort of like swing your sword around. I like to imagine it sort of skewers a bit through the middle. That like holds its momentum enough that Torgal's swing just like clean off the head from behind.
Nice.
So like goes forward just, and then wow.
Hold him still.
Yeah. The other warg is going for you. That's a crit, which is not a crit.
Nice. Good sick.
So it still
Such good
resolves the
support
same
for
number. So
Which is like 20 stuff.
yeah, it still resolves to the same resultant number of 25.
Yeah.
So you can try and cutting words that if you want.
Did
Is
you
it-
already
is this
use
top of
your
the round?
reaction?
Because I've used it last time they attacked. So this must be a new round.
Yeah, no, it's you don't have your reaction back yet
Yeah.
because you haven't
Oh,
actually
it's on
doing that.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was the one that went immediately after. Yeah, the one that. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So you don't have it. So that does just hit. Finally, something just hits you.
You'll be fine.
Which for a 6 piercing damage, and I need you to make a strength saving throw.
He's going prone, boys. He'll be fine.
19.
That's fine. That's
fuck
pass.
yeah.
The goblin on its back. It's a 20, so no. When will they learn? The answer is they fucking won't. Which brings us to the other goblin that was knocked off its one that you just straight up killed. It's unhappy about it. It's going to try and stab you because it's not very smart. It hasn't figured out that you're hard to hit. That's a natural 1. It's sort of, I like to imagine it kind of like lands on its feet, collects itself, goes for it, and then just like as it's sort of like slowly like and it realizes like 3 times its size.
Just kick it.
Just like its arm just kind of like shakes. It just doesn't commit to the
farts
attack.
on
Sort
it.
of, you see its eyes start watering. Which brings us to
mercy.
Jeremiah.
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 Okay.
Yeah, that's you. That's you, bud.
That's my name.
Don't wear it out.
What have you got left? Who have we got?
There's a piss pants goblin.
Yeah.
There's 2 more on wargs, and there's 3 more on wargs. There's 1 piss pants goblin on no warg, and 3 more on wargs.
Any more fairy-fied?
Nope.
No,
Only the
just
one,
the one.
was.
And are they all together now? Are they all up in the same
Yeah, they're like all like clustering around Torgal, and then Marta is on the other side of them.
There's a cluster of them
And Zoo is somewhere in the middle of the
on the
sentence.
ground.
I would like to cast Ray of Frost on one of the walls.
Okay. Roll to hit.
16 plus heaps of stuff.
Yeah, that'll hit. I'm assuming you're going after one of the ones that was damaged by the
Yes.
the Thunderwave Shadow, whichever one Rosbug did on the first
Thunderwave.
turn.
Thunderwave.
Thunderwave, yeah.
That would be 13.
13.
Cold damage.
Wonderful.
And then I'm going to move back another 15 feet.
Okay. Which brings us to Rosie.
Alrighty.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie is going to.
You know you didn't actually have to say that.
I didn't.
Did you know that?
But I did. I made that call.
Can't unmake it.
I regret nothing.
Okay, so 11, which misses. Second attack. 19.
Yeah, that'll hit
So, yeah,
the.
it's
You're
one of the
attacking the
goblins.
same one, right? That Ray of Frost just hit, I assume. Or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Because like all the other ones haven't been damaged as of yet.
For 8 damage.
Yeah. This kills the warg.
Die.
Does it shatter in ice?
That'll be a good combo. Nice plus thunder damage.
Which brings us to Torgal, who gets 1,000,000 attacks. There are 2 dewarged goblins and 2 warged goblins. As in they've been knocked off their mounts because their mounts are
it's just
dead.
a great,
I'm
great
just
sounding
like,
word.
I'm just looking at the,
I invented
at
it.
the wargs.
I know.
Just looking at them, just
I'm just
mean
looking
look.
at the wargs. Yep.
Fuck you, wolves.
Whichever there's a warg close to me.
There's 2, like everything is close.
Yeah.
There's 2 goblins whose mounts have been killed, and there's 2 goblins still on their mounts. So you're attacking one of those.
Yeah,
wargs.
I'm
Yep,
going
cool.
for one of those mounts with a 21.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Yeah, sweet. 13 damage.
Okay,
On the
and
first one.
second attack.
Yeah, that'll hit. 24.
Yeah. That'll hit.
Yeah. 12.
That's enough.
Alright, sweet.
Nah.
Just 2 more clean hits. Just warg dead. And hasted action attack. Do you want to
The other
attack the
warg?
goblin that just fell off the warg you killed?
No, I'm gonna go for the other warg.
The other warg,
I'm,
sure
I'm
thing.
feeling like shock and awe is like
Yeah.
the
Okay,
deal
right,
goblins,
right.
you know?
Having beheaded 2 of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and killed and 2 warg, 2 or 3 warg now. 19.
Another 19. Cool. That hits.
14 damage.
14. Okay. All right. Which brings us to Oakley.
All right.
Vocals.
We got one more warg, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Barely.
I'm going to. Oh, barely? Okay.
I'm gonna let him live.
It's not looking. It's not looking great.
Well, I was going to vicious mockery him, but if someone's just going to drop him pretty soon, it's probably not a problem.
I mean, you.
Yeah.
You could be the
Mock
person
him
who
to
drops it.
not really.
All right.
Go
Sure.
on.
Unless I run up to it.
Okay.
But what I will do.
I really want to get bit by a warg.
Okay, I'll
A
viciously.
werewolf.
I'll Colin mockery him.
Yeah. You do a T-Rex
He
impression
Ryan
in front of
Styles
him.
you right back.
Yeah.
I know you guys couldn't see it, but I was doing the leg movement.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I do
vicious mockery.
Yeah, I get.
No, doesn't go off. I'm afraid.
Doesn't go off. Shit! I
Because
forgot
it's
that
a
was.
wisdom.
I rolled
I
a
forgot there was a
17.
save.
Yeah.
You thought spells just happened, huh? The fucking hubris
foolish.
on this bard.
Yeah.
I like to
was that
imagine that
good.
the somatic components was Jeremiah doing arms underneath my arms.
Yeah.
Trying to make a Subway sandwich.
But it didn't work because I'm like a third your
Feeding me.
height, so it's just arms coming out of your knees. Like, yeah.
Well, that didn't work. Never mind. That's me.
Also, never ask me to get that close to your ass again, please. Yeah.
Actually, yeah,
Vicious
because of his
mockery.
height and your short.
That's why it failed. You laughed so
It was
hard.
right,
you
just like you
farted.
were just right in there.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, man.
So please save us do something.
No,
It's your turn.
I'm just gonna stop.
I'm gonna die. Oh god.
I'm going to, as I'm trying to run back, cast Toll the Dead on that one. Am I about 60 feet away?
How to
Oh,
become,
yeah.
how to
Yeah,
become a
okay, cool.
werewolf.
So you're gonna toll the dead on the warg or a goblin?
The warg.
The warg. Right. So this will break your invisibility.
Yep, fuck that.
I'm not afraid anymore.
Absolutely.
Pops out and kills in one shot. Do it.
So it's wisdom.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, roll damage.
Nice.
Has it taken damage?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Took damage from this guy.
By any chance?
What
Where
a
you
journey.
going? 13 points of necrotic
13.
damage.
That's exactly enough.
Yeah.
And, and this thing just like kind of like falters and slams down as the goblin on its back. Lets out the equivalent of a goblin swear word, which brings us to.
Oh, and I'm keeping moving in, but taking a moment to throw up while I do it.
Okay.
Carry
There's
on.
now there's now just like 3 goblins all around Torgal. They put their hands up and drop their weapons. They just like. Marta, you're up next. 2 of them have done that, by the way. The third one has like just kind of seen them do that and hasn't registered and had a chance to act yet. But Marta, you're up.
We only need 2. I'm gonna throw my sword in
We only need 2.
Jesus.
I love it.
He hasn't surrendered yet. And yeah, as soon as my sword up in the air a little bit, it's gonna fly forward and impale the little creature.
Yeah, cool. This will be the one that hasn't surrendered.
18, yes.
I'm gonna
that'll
cutting
hit.
words that.
Oh.
5 off that.
18.
13.
Brings out a 13. That's a miss.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm gonna say, whoa! What are you doing?
Well, I mean, those 2 gave up. I mean, okay, you want to keep prisoners? 3's a lot. It's up to you. Pull my sword back.
And the third one now drops its sword and sort of.
Don't be charmed by that cuteness.
Trust
me.
It is the ugliest fucking thing.
yeah.
I
Does-
mean,
Yeah, but I can see it in his eyes.
Does anyone here speak Goblin?
Technically, Jeremiah is up next in initiative if we're still initiativing, but I
Yeah.
think we might just like suspend initiative for the time being.
Does anyone here speak Goblin?
No.
No.
Okay.
One of them goes,
You
I
speak
can
common.
understand you.
Right.
That's helpful.
That's
makes it
better.
easier.
That's better. Look, we're gonna need a really good reason not to kill you right now. I mean, we don't want to because, you know, we're pacifists. Sure,
Well,
let's go with
yeah.
that.
I only kill things that try to kill me.
But
Which you have done, to be fair.
well, there's a risk. We can't have you go off telling everyone else where we are and sending reinforcements. Now,
They kind of look at each other, and he's kind of like,
Nope. Nope.
we're supposed to do that anyway, though. That's what we're told to do. We got to tell about anything we see.
told by who?
With the boss.
Who's the boss?
I don't know his name, he's just boss.
does this boss, is he a goblin or does he look more like one of us?
Bigger one, pink skin.
One of us, maybe.
Hobgoblin.
They sort of like they kind of confer between themselves. Maybe.
Could you disguise yourself as a hobgoblin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I make myself look like the hobgoblin. I've
They
seen.
like all like cower back like
Like this.
and one of them's like nodding like he's one of them! He's one of them!
Cool, I dropped the disguise.
Well, there's your answer. Where's the camp? Oh, come on. I helped you. You need to help me. You'd be dead if not.
I bring out my sword.
Everyone's
I'm
there,
spitting
all our
it in
friends
there.
are there, don't hurt them.
Well, maybe it's better if you don't go back to camp. But we need you to tell us where it is.
Where we supposed to go?
Anywhere else.
You seem pretty smart. You can survive on your own, can't you?
The 3
You
of you
can
together,
hunt,
you'll be
can't you?
fine.
Goblins is useless without
Well,
lots
there's-
of us.
there's
That's
3
why
of
there's
you.
lots of us. They're all at the camp.
You know how to hunt rabbits, don't you? You can eat.
I tell you what, there's a cave. A wee ways from here. It's a couple days. Do you think you could wait in that cave for us, and then we can try and figure something out when we get back?
If we find it,
I'm gonna pull out some rations and I'm gonna hand them,
Look, we can.
break them off some rations.
There's
like very hesitantly reaches out its hand.
it's food.
So like looks at all the swords and stuff, and just kind of grabs it.
As I'm doing that, can I try and like, might be a sleight of hand check, but I try and get some ink and sort of like discreetly like mark like with a finger or something like that.
Like its hand or something.
Or yeah, it doesn't need to be discreet either, but just put some ink on it somewhere where I'm like, okay, so I want to know if these are the goblins
Sure,
that we've interacted with.
Yeah. Make a sleight of hand check for that.
Okay. That would be a 9.
I'm going to. When are you guys gonna ask some questions soon?
Yeah, it's probably. I'm just gonna get down on my on my haunches and just say, I'm not gonna stop him again. I need to know where the camp is.
And on that, I'm gonna cast Detect Thoughts.
Ooh.
The immediate thing you get is like overwhelming fear, and it seems to be a multifaceted thing. They are afraid of you guys, and they seem even more afraid of what you're asking about.
Okay.
I'm just gonna try and be as nice and persuasive.
And like as you're
possible.
casting that spell as well, like they kind of like shrink back every time. Make a persuasion check on your end.
Yeah,
Actually, as a component of the spell, I'm just gonna toss them a copper coin. Say, yeah. Just trying to make it seem a little bit less archaic and more of just like trying to like distract them as well as. Part of
So you're
I'm being
persuasion
good
check.
cop here. That's 23.
And then as you ask questions, they verbally or they naturally shape the course of the thoughts. So
I need you to tell us where your camp is.
a minute.
You're not gonna go back there, so you're not gonna be in any danger. But you're in a lot of danger right now, and I can help you.
Can I assist? Can I assist with this by standing kind of behind him, like?
Well, because that would be, I think, what you're angling towards would be intimidation anyway. No, so because it would be a different kind of thing.
We're good cop.
If anything, that's probably less likely to help.
Yeah.
They kind of shatter between themselves.
There's no discussion here.
Yeah, and then if
There's
none
one
of,
of
if they
them-
don't, if their thoughts don't,
Can they get an
Sorry.
opportunity to react, guys?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like I give like one sentence of flavor text and everyone's like, objection! The best fucking part about that game though is when he does this thing.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
this shit right here says you're fucked.
Objection.
Love that shit. Anyway, they sort of. There's nowhere else for us to go. We run into the other patrols, and they'd hang us up for deserting because they just is afraid they wouldn't want to get found out, and they would say something, and there's one of them just like suddenly just kind of cries out and picks up a sword, just goes ah, and just drives into himself, and like he cannot do enough damage to like reliably kill himself in a pinch, and just like. The other ones don't do anything to stop him as he just like drives into himself a couple of times until he just slumps down and bleeds out.
Can I just like stick my sword in him before he like?
Yeah, he like drives back to the next one, and he just like yeah, it would be coup de grace, so just like quickly in and out,
straight in the face.
and then he just as one of them starts like tentatively reaching for his own blade.
No,
Okay,
pull that shit
well,
right
hang
now.
on. Let's
Yeah.
just, if that's the way you want to go, let's do it quickly.
If you and your friends had somewhere else to go, would you all leave this hobgoblin boss of yours?
Not safe anywhere.
I'm sure he
not
doesn't
safe.
find you.
What can you do?
Look at how strong we are.
We've already killed one hobgoblin. You're safe with us. Look at me. I've killed one.
Look
If
at
we-
him. He's huge.
That's just one.
If we get you to your camp, would you be able to get
So
your
with my
friends out?
with my detect thoughts going, like if he says that, like do I get
He's-
a number? Like do I?
Not getting a particular number, but like
I'm willing to probe
these-
deeper.
yeah,
like, the
just
second
he
they
is
offer any resistance, I'm
aware
not getting like,
of like
they'll have to make wisdom saving throw.
yeah, just hang tight. Like there's no like particular number. Like they can't really count, but like you are saying one. They like the image in its mind is like a group of people, as in like it's hard to have a distinct number there, but it's like he's kind of almost picturing like a group your size kind of thing. Like this is multiple people, not necessarily all there together at the same time.
Yep.
But there's like this larger collection of these other creatures that it's thinking of as it's talking about this.
Okay.
More hobgoblins.
They're also thinking, like, their minds aren't exactly in stable states right now, so you're also getting a lot of them just, like, flicking between the different things they're afraid of. And it's like every time they think about something, like they start, like, actually considering a proper concrete thought, their mind just immediately flicks to, like, the next thing that would be dangerous. So when someone's like, oh, you could go here, as soon as they start thinking about that, it's like their mind just kind of fills up with all of the things they are afraid of there. Like being out in the wilderness, there's only 2 of them, there's other patrols, can't go back to camp, can't stay here. And, like, their minds just aren't staying on any one thing long enough, which is a lot of... obviously, you know this and you don't, but, like, that's a lot of what's making this tricky for you, is, like... it's hard to, like, lock them down to a thought even long enough to rationally explain and talk something through. Like, they're just in way too heightened a state right now.
Yeah, they're like hyperventilating.
Yeah.
They're pushing them too hard.
Like, everything is terrifying and they are pretty sure there's no way out.
These hobgoblins, do they have names, or you don't call them names?
Just boss. Everyone's just boss.
Could you tell me how many there are if you just point to my fingers here? Could you just, like, this many, or this many?
They kind of look at each other. I don't know what you mean.
It's okay.
Do you have another kind of boss as well, or is it just these ones that you're talking about?
There's a lot of different boss. Anyone who's bigger than a goblin and bosses a goblin around is boss.
Are they all pink-skinned, like the way I look?
No. Some is bigger than Airy, but then the other bosses is them bosses too.
Any bosses that are different, not like any others?
Like different how?
Not pink-skinned, not hairy.
What's
not
the biggest
goblin.
one look like?
Like what he did.
Okay.
Kinda.
Alright, so where do you want to go now? What do you want to do? What's the next move?
I want to go to sleep.
Okay. Where do you want to go to sleep?
In my bed. At the camp. This is a safer space for goblins as with lots of all of us. It's the only ways we safe. There's people like you want to hurt us, and all the things out in the swamp want to hurt us. And sometimes even other goblins want to hurt us, but at least when there's enough of us, it's okay.
If we took you back to your camp, would you be able to tell your friends that we don't want to hurt you, and if you're able to get them out safely, we can clear out the rest of the camp? You can have it.
You just kill the bosses if you get the goblins to leave.
Goblins. You just don't come in and attack the humans. Sit in the village. This is all happening because
What
you
you-
attacked the human village.
What you're getting in its thoughts, it wants to believe you guys, but it feels like it has good reason to believe that you would not be successful. That's the most present thing, is it, like, in response to the current discussion. Yeah, like you are getting it closer to being on your side for what it's worth, but like, yeah, like I said, it wants you guys to be right about that. It wants that to be true, but it's not convinced, and it doesn't seem to have the capacity to communicate why. Like, it's thinking of like big numbers of things that occur in big numbers, like swarms of insects and things like that, but like it doesn't know numbers, it can't count it, it can't give you any kind of figure.
Maybe we make a deal: if the fight breaks out and the goblins start running away, we won't chase them.
That's a deal we're willing to make.
Yep.
If a battle comes between us and your bosses, anyone who runs can run and be safe. Anyone who stays and fights with them ends up like everyone else.
And then we kill the bosses, and then there's no more bosses. That sounds pretty good, right?
I'm gonna ask him straight up. Be like, do you know of a raiding party that left off like a few days ago? A lot of goblins and a boss.
No, I didn't hear anything. We don't all get told these things anyway. You want us to say to everyone that they can just go?
Yeah, they leave, no problem. Just don't hurt any more humans.
If the bosses know that we've been saying it, though, they'll kill us anyway.
Well, we're gonna get rid of the bosses, aren't we?
Keep it a secret. Just amongst the goblins.
Can we go now?
Well, hang on. Do we have a deal?
We'll try. But we just don't want them to hurt us.
And we don't want them to be ready for us, do we? No, that's good.
No.
Because then you won't be able to run, and then we'll have to kill you too.
Exactly.
Well,
And, if
they're
you
gonna
wanna-
need to know if we're there.
Like they sort of taken a few steps back. We go. We'll just go.
Okay.
I think this is a bad idea.
Are you getting like agreement from them?
You're
or
getting
getting
agreement, but there's still that fear, and that fear is driving a significant amount of doubt. As in, like, again, they want this to be able to work. They want this to be true, but they're not certain they're in a position where it's going to be safe to try.
I think
And
by
they
the time-
don't
yeah.
like they can't know any more than that anyway. Like, and you get the sense that like his thinking is like, I can't decide until I'm actually back at the camp.
Sure.
Like,
By the time they
what's
get
the
back
lay of
there,
the
they're gonna
land going
change
to
their
be?
minds.
So
Yeah,
on.
I'm gonna make my sword disappear. I'm gonna get down real close, and I'm gonna be like,
They
You
kind of
seem-
shrink away from you.
"It's okay. Calm down. You seem nice, which is why you're going to be let loose. Which is why you're going to live. We don't want to kill you. But if you and your friends stay when we show up, you and they will die."
Well, they need to know that we're here. This is the first thing. I was just thinking, actually, Oakley.
But we don't want to kill you.
We just want to go.
We just want you to go.
Oakley,
Are we going? And
if,
they,
uh,
they start
hold on.
like they're like taking steps back
Yeah.
as this happens. They're starting to.
Hold on. Just calm.
They don't stop moving.
We're not going to get a straight answer from them.
Did I? Yeah, so.
I was gonna say, for what it's worth, if you hear this, Oakley, can you play something to let them know? Whatever. If you hear that kind of sound, you know we're here. You can make your mind up then. Okay.
They kind of nod at that as they back away, and it gets to the point where they sort of get a bit further, and they just like turn and start sprinting.
Before they leave that 30-foot range, any inkling thoughts?
Mostly just kind of coming back into fear, and then as they start sprinting, like there's a lot of adrenaline that's clouding things, but there's a sense of relief.
I think by the time they get back, they're not going to follow through with this.
Maybe, but it's worth it today, though.
You marked him, mate.
Hmm?
Did you mark him?
Yeah.
You marked that one.
We'll see. Hey, sorry about what I did there, Mata, with the attack. You know, there's just a
I'm a
line.
bit overzealous, I get it.
It's
It's fine.
yeah, it's not something that I make a habit
Just
of.
don't do it when it matters.
Sure.
Really?
Yeah.
When it matters.
No, I'm happy to take lives when it needs to be done, but that seemed a bit more callous. Didn't sit right.
I just know there's a lot of the fuckers, and we don't need that many.
Yeah, I'm no friend of goblins.
I don't even trust
either.
those ones. I'm remiss not to kill them right now.
Be
They
half
know
on your
we're
side.
coming. Those other 5 already probably
I-
warned them. Now they know that we know where they're at. If anything, we're provoking an attack. We need to go back to town and fortify. We need to warn Garrow.
I can try and double check if the plan's solid.
Yeah, that works.
Or we just track him straight back now.
Yeah, we follow them
Make
now.
it happen.
We follow
That
them now.
might be
We get a
worth it
location.
anyway. At least we know where they
Yeah.
are.
They're not
Okay.
making any attempt to hide. They're going straight back
Yeah.
there.
Okay. So we'll resolve that one last bit before we end off the session. So you're sort of tracking and following them back in the direction they're going, right? It takes most of the rest of the day. It's pretty easy to track them because they're not making a whole lot of effort to be careful. And they were obviously the patrol that was out here anyway, so you're in a bit of a blank zone between patrols as you do this. It gets to the point where they start sort of rising back out of the swamp. They kind of curl back in westward towards the hills that sort of separate this from the estate lands. And you can kind of see there's sort of a bit of a trail up, and then just kind of nestled in some of the foothills is this quite large camp. And it's exposed kind of on the east and south sides. The rest sort of backs onto low hills. It'd be a bit more difficult to get around there, and there's these sort of wooden palisades around the whole lot, and you can see a pair of watchtowers as well.
Shit.
Tricky.
Okay. So how far off are we from these watchtowers?
You guys are still like hanging back on the edge of the swamp. So like around it has been kind of clear cut as well, because they've obviously needed the woods and so on. So there's a bit of a clear cut around it, sort of leading up to it. You're kind of hanging back. You are maybe like 300 feet away, and it's open terrain between you and the edge of the camp.
Or at least we know where they are.
Seems like a big force.
Let's see if we can identify the heavy hitters.
Well,
Close we can get.
should we make a bit of a clearing first, and then do a bit of reconnaissance and prep?
It's not a bad idea.
Try and find a spot to.
Is there any way to like kind of get into the camp from above?
Any of
If you could fly. Like there's
Funny you
it's
should
not like
mention that,
there's
actually,
near
'cause,
enough. Like the hills that it's against, they're not like tall hills like a cliff face you could go off or anything.
anywhere that we could look down into the camp from.
Not really. You'd have to come like all the way up, round, and behind it, which you could maybe do in a big round trip, but it's got pretty good visibility up to those areas anyway. They'd probably see you moving.
There's a reason they're here.
It's defensible.
You
What's the plan?
may be keen to. Well, it doesn't necessarily need to be someone with you straight away. Would you be possibly keen to go invisible again, see if you can get some eyes on the inside, or is that too risky?
I mean, depending on how many there are, it might be tricky.
Something
think
else
they-
did just occur to me.
Could you make
By the
some of this
way,
invisible?
Yeah.
if they just went back on the way they'd usually go when they return from being on patrol, then that's the way the next patrol's going to come through as well. So we can't hang around here for too long.
Good
Sure,
point.
let's
we move
break
off.
off the line.
Good points.
Maybe we'll find a point to watch this path. Is there anything like that? Like somewhere we can get a short rest?
Sure, yeah. You'd be able to, make a quick survival check. Survival and perception as we find a spot.
Survival and perception.
Damn it.
Ooh, bad survival.
Bad survival.
Good perception.
Oh, of course.
Dirty
Why am I
20.
rolling that one again?
Oh,
Fuck's sake. Dumbass.
dirty 20.
8 survival,
Yeah.
12 protection. Protection. Perception.
13 survival.
You always
18
use protection.
Always.
Dirty
12.
11 survival.
16 for Rosberg, 5 for me.
So you're the lowest roll.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw this at you then.
Sick! Boom! He was really.
into
I
it.
know.
Boosh!
They call me the Iron Forehead. Yeah, okay. It's you don't find a particularly great spot. You find somewhere that you can like stay temporarily. You wouldn't want to rest here for too long. It's more just kind of like climbing up on some low tree trunks, and there's like a bit of a fallen chunk of wood, and you're able to stay above the clotted, muddy ground and water. It's enough to at least short rest, and you can sort of keep an eye on the direction that the patrols will be coming from. It's got later in the day as well by now, so you've maybe got like 2 hours of good light left.
Before, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
While we're short resting, would I be able to do augury.
Yep.
I guess on them going back in.
How likely you think they are
Yeah,
to?
whether that was a good plan to let them go back.
Or whether they, or
Give me a
whether
hot
we
second.
think it will actually result in them assisting us, or just in general, like. the
Because
plan of them
augury,
going back.
yeah, augury can give you
it's a
the
plan of
likely
action,
outcome
right?
of an upcoming action of yours.
Yeah. So letting them go back would be probably.
Yeah, that would be a past action. But you could
okay.
do. What you could do is augury. If you attack, whether or not they're going to follow through on the plan, you could get a result for that.
Cool.
Okay.
Or at the very least, whether they'll seek to follow through on the plan. Yeah.
Yeah. I would start doing that then.
Yeah, sure. Are you ritual casting that?
If we're doing a short rest, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Mark, sticks, bones, or similar tokens worth at least 25 GP. Yeah, so you guys all do a short rest. Feel free to resolve that. For augury, so whether or not they're likely to follow through if you attack the camp. Wheel.
Good results.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
So that means one of our characters is going to die. Because that's what happened last time.
You kind of see.
But the plan will go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably hesitate as soon as the same sort of colour comes out. I'd be like,
Oh wait.
Aboard, guys,
well,
aboard.
I thought I knew what that
What
meant.
you'd sort of get
The
is
monkey's paw.
yeah, the sort of the peering you're getting is you're sort of seeing some of the potential outcomes, and the overwhelming thing you kind of get back from it. Obviously, you don't get too much detail with augury in terms of specific things that might play out, but all sort of probabilities and everything are trending towards them looking to follow through on what was discussed. What that does for outcome is not inherently clear, but the more you peer into it and the more time you spend on it, the more confident that wheel result becomes.
Right.
Cool. So it's
Yeah.
more like the intention rather than the result, right?
Well,
Outlook is good.
it's whether it's likely to have a favourable outcome.
Cool. Yeah, nice, yeah.
Likelihood is high.
Yeah, you don't know specifics of actions and the things that will take place, but yeah.
Not to mention, you can't tell if we're going to be idiots.
Oh, I think we can safely assume we're going to be idiots. Yeah.
Well, also, I can't account for something just going dramatically wrong on their end, right? Like, you don't know. There are always outside chances either way. At any rate.
Signs are good.
Signs good. And that'll do it for this week. I have a feeling when we come back next week, you may need to bring some of those goblin miniatures.
I'll paint a
Just
few
heads
more,
up.
yeah.
And maybe
Goblin fight.
print a few more while you're at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few more
How many?
hobgoblins.
20?
Yeah.
Yeah, double that. For no reason.
For no
Double.
Yeah.
Take
Last
it
time,
easy.
yeah.
Yeah. At any rate, thank you everyone for tuning in. We will be back next week because that's how this works. That's what we do. And we do it every week.
Correct them or no.
Good talk. See you next time.
See you next Sunday.